Good morning, everyone. Welcome on in to another and the final episode of our first playthrough of Silent Hill F. Thank you so much, everyone who voted in the poll this week as well about whether or not you wanted to see a Chronos and Silent Hill F New Game Plus playthrough. There seemed to be a lot of interest in seeing both. Obviously, we're seeing the true ending for Chronos and all the additional stuff in this game as well, which we have heard there is a lot in New Game Plus for Silent Hill F, especially. How are we all doing? Welcome on in. How's everyone's October starting off so far? Hopefully it's been good. We got Rooksy, Lena, Regal, Lisbeth, Mad, Sohu, Gilby, Kara, Dappa, Helena, Vent, Pete, Whisper also. I know I already said it in the Discord, but congratulations on the wedding. I hope you had, I'm sure you had a lovely week. Hope you're both doing good. We got Pete, Left 4 Dead, Panda as well. Welcome on in. It's been alright. It's been okay, says Regal. Not too shabby, huh? Anyone been diving into the spooky movies and TV shows yet? We did watch the new Conjuring movie the other day, but I don't know if it's just because we played two really stellar story horror games in a row, but I was kind of like, It started off saying, this is the worst thing they ever encountered. And the whole movie I was thinking, I don't know, The Nun was kind of worse. Annabelle was a little bit worse than this. I can name at least two things that were worse than this. But I don't know. That was just me. Hopefully there'll be some more spookier things to watch this month. I heard, yeah, so we might play some 76 on Friday and then start the New Game Plus playthrough on Sunday. Because it looks like they actually came through and brought out Mischief Night. It was very, I'll believe it when I see it, because last year we were supposed to get it. And it got pulled at the last minute. Those of you who were there for the first year of Mischief Night, yeah, we're all really, really sad when they took it off. Because I still argue to this day, that Farshnart is worse for the servers than Mischief Night ever was. I saw a picture of the plushie backpack. Yes, I have a great need. A great need for that. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. The wings are floppy! Yes. Amazing. You're gonna try and get some extras. Yeah, very excited for the bat plushie in particular. You know, I love a good plushie backpack. I wonder if does it have unfortunate flare placements like the Cappy and Bottle backpack, I wonder. Very unfortunate flare placements. Just dangling at the bottom. Whoa.
New tip from a heroic panda.
I had the speakers all the way up. Panda, thank you so much for the Ko-fi tip. I appreciate it. Panda coming in with the first scare of the day, and we've not even started the game yet. Oh, GG. Oh. If I wasn't awake before, I'm awake now. They do hang onto the plushie. Okay. Oh, goodness name. So, today might be a short, kind of like the finale of Chronos, where it might be a shorter stream, as we've got a final boss to defeat, and then a little bit extra after that, I think, before the game ends. So we're gonna play it until it's finished, and then we're gonna talk about it a little bit before we finish off. It really depends on how long the boss is gonna take, Ray. I think how long the stream ends up being. I've seen it up to phase 3. Phase 3 is gonna be the tough part. There's just a lot happening in phase 3, but you know, hopefully it's gonna be okay. Also, so what we are fighting basically is a faceless, traditional wedding attire with a monster inside it. The faceless bride that Hinako will become, or fears she will become, if she gets married. Now, hopefully at the end of this, we're going to get some more information on Mr. Fox mask as well. And exactly, you know, what has happened to Hinako. I'm still putting my money down on she was going to get married, has some sort of psychosis, but the wedding hasn't happened yet. That is where my money's going. And maybe it was to Mr. Fox mask, who's from that family. Who we found out, if it is who we think it is, the bastard child of a nobleman who had a child with his maid, family dies, he ends up inheriting everything. So he's got a powerful name, despite not being the fully legitimate son, because they all died. Hey Peter, how are you? Hope you're well. Which then would explain why a noble family marries into Hinako's family, who are not rich and are not noble. Her dad was in the fishing business, but pissed all his money away. Now he's a drunk, abuses his wife and his daughters. Not a great guy. Mum wouldn't stand up to him. Hinako often did. Maybe, at least in the flashbacks we've seen. Again, she might be an unreliable narrator. So it's hard to tell what has happened and what hasn't happened from what we've seen. What is skewed through the lens of her perspective. It was very similar in the Silent Hill 2 remaster as well with James. There was a point where it was very clear that it was you couldn't really trust him as a narrator. And I think in Silent Hill it's often like that because there's so much sort of psychological horror going on and representations of their guilt or anger, trauma, etc. that gets sort of personified in these realms they get stuck in. Yeah. But you never quite know what's real and what's not. That's one of the things that makes it interesting, trying to piece it all together. I do think, though, we're probably not going to get a full picture until New Game Plus. I feel like that's going to answer a lot of our questions, maybe. We'll definitely be seeing things differently by that point, I think. Hi, welcome, Furion. I hope you're well. I'm also curious if there's going to be different bosses as well. If the endings are different, maybe the bosses are different too. There's even more sort of challenges awaiting for us. So far in this playthrough, the hardest boss for me was Rinko. Because there was a lot going on. You had to worry about her, dodge her attack. She had quite far reach. She spawned zombies that she could turn into flaming fireballs, which then exploded. And she had like a Super Saiyan mode where she just went nuts. And every phase it got longer and you really had to manage your stamina well if you didn't want to get whacked into a combo. So yeah, Rinko's was tough on hard. Hey Crimson, how are you? I hope you're well. Thank you. Hi Pat, how are you? A human on YouTube in 20, I thought it was all AI now. Oh. How you doing? I hope you're well. Spine said they're going to be a bit late today. Yeah. I think they said about 7:30. So about an hour-ish. They're due to get home. They're out with friends tonight. They're socializing. They're being a social butterfly. So many booty wiggles. So that's the thing we don't have on the YouTube side yet. We need animated emotes specifically for the butt wiggle. Oh, thank you, Crimson. I appreciate it. You're doing good. 30 minutes of work left, then you're going to the gym after that. Nice. Any plans for video games when you get home? Oh, curious what everyone's playing this spooky season too. Have you been playing Silent Hill yourself? Do you prefer just to watch the spooky games but not really play them? Have you played Chronos? Because Chronos, I really cannot recommend enough. It's also up for a audio design award, Chronos, which I think is very well deserved because the ambience in that game was chilling, so good. I think it really deserves that. Probably the best audio design in a game we played this year. Yeah, I think. Oh, Bloodlines 2! Yeah, that's one that we might play because there seemed to be a significant amount of interest in it. There was a neat game with spooky stuff on an oil rig. I mean, oil rigs are already quite creepy. KI bot. Is that my AI replacement? You would rather watch people play spooky games. You're such a baby when it comes to them. Scary movies and videos on YouTube are fine, though. Or like people going looking through haunted houses and things like that. With those creepy ghost whisper radio things. Although you're gonna give Fallout 4 another playthrough again. Because the Great War happened in spooky season, it did. That's why there's so many Halloween decorations around. Mm-hmm. Bombs dropped in October. You watch streamers pee their pants playing them instead of you. It's cheaper that way. Oh dear. Yeah. Sometimes it's funner to see other people get scared than to get scared yourself. KI bots respect their Texas hair. Oh, is that how you're gonna know if if I've been replaced? It's gonna be a proud Texan. Oh. So, for this fight, I swapped the weapons around a bit. Opted for knife. I couldn't get the sledgehammer because I'm locked out of the other rooms. Fire axe. Pipe as a backup. I did see if we die too many times, you lose everything except it gives you 99 pills and a pipe. And then you have to finish off the fight like that. If she gets 2 revives, we've got 1 from the mirror, so we get 3. But if you die a second time, yeah, then you lose all your stuff, basically. So we kind of don't want that to happen if we're lucky. I think we're going to use the knife mostly. Now, it's difficult to repair things and take things in this fight because unless you're really careful about the downtime of the boss. The knife seems pretty good, though, so I think we're going to use the knife and try to just repair it when we can and hope for the best. Phase 1 and 2 are pretty short. I don't know about Phase 3. I didn't whack it past that when I was practicing. I just wanted to kind of see what the phase was like. And that's the chaotic one where you're sort of running from the vines and the flowers that are going to be spread very far out. It's going to be easy to accidentally dodge into them as well. If it catches you, it gives her a chance to then grab you, so that's going to be the rough part, I think. I did manage to get to phase 3. Oh, sorry. Phase 3 a few times, though, without using anything. So I'm going to try and save the Higashi for round 2/3. Because I think that's when we're probably going to need it the most. Most likely. Okay. Should we die then? Make sure the music's on. I did opt to keep... Hey, Titan! Hey, Paulin, hope you're well. I did opt to keep the Omamori we had on, the focus one, so we can hopefully get some strong attacks in. If we had 3 Omamori slots, I would probably put the stamina one in as well, but, alas, I think the mirror might be more useful this time around. So we're gonna use the hawk in that. And hope for the best. We've got 2 Higashi. And a decent amount of supplies, so I think... Probably... Is there anything we can put in that last slot? Or is it just... It might all be aid kits, actually. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's put the... The Ramune is also sanity. But I think the Divine Water is probably... The Ramune we only are probably going to go into if we get into trouble, I think. Everything else should be fine. Hey, Nope, how you doing? Welcome. Thank you, I appreciate it. Free toolkits. And we're going in with the American McGee's Alice knife. Which feels fitting, because I felt like there was quite a few parallels between Alice and Madness in this game. Alright, here we go again.
まさかまだ生き残っていようとは。
お姉ちゃんは所詮は向こう側の人間。私の気持ちなんて
The inevitable betrayal.
落ち着いて。あなたがどうしてここにいるかわかる？
わからない。ここはどこ？怖いや。辛い。気持ち悪い。帰りたい。
I do think the pills have something to do with whatever's happening to present Hinako as well. Maybe it's what causes psychosis.
大丈夫だよ。これを飲むと落ち着くから。
もうやめなさい。それを飲むのをやめて。
She warns about it. There was that letter with Shu as well, talking about them and how he was worried she'd get addicted. Hallucinations. Here comes the bride.
お前は私のすべてを奪った。サクコもリンコもシュウも奪い、お父さんもお母さんも。私を返せ。
am dodging a little too fast, I can see already. Sort of like as it's coming down, you have to do it. Let's try and get through phase 1 quickly if we can. Okay, that's phase 1.
さて、私を殺すんじゃなかったのか。
Right, now the flowers are gonna follow her. So as long as we just kind of like stay away from them, we're fine. Stamina. Ooh, gotta be careful. Trying to not use the Higashi yet. Uh-oh. Okay, fine. Okay, again. Oh, I don't think we can actually hurt her in that phase. Okay, now we take the... okay. Where's it going? Where's it going? Where's it going? Yeah. Okay. Oh no! Oh no! It went all the way to the edge! It went all the way to the edge! No! Sometimes you're fine if you stay at the edge, but ooh, if you go the wrong way like that. No! No! Okay, we only used the mirror just now, so we're good. I'm not doing good. Yeah, this phase was where I had the most trouble. Wow. Well, I almost did it without
認め
dying.
ない。ひなこを渡したりなんかしない。
This gets a bit nerve-wracking. Oh no, could we... Knife. No! I feel like I'm mostly just dodging into stuff. Damn it!
私は 消えない。
I do find it hard to get a hit in between, trying to make sure I'm not dodging into the flowers, but also like
お前が
take stuff. So now we've lost everything. Damn it. It's gonna be a bit harder. I actually don't know how long we have to whack her at this point. pretty easy, the first two. Okay. Oh no! Every time I do a focus attack. Is it Dad? Is it Dad? I think it's Dad. Yeah, Rinko was definitely harder, I would say. After this, do you want to try and get the achievement for it without dying? I think the mirror doesn't count.
もうこんなところは嫌だ。私がこんなところも
Yeah, I hate the shrine too.
こんな奴らも
It's awful in there.
全てぶち壊してやる。
There's three of them. Oh, we still only have that, so yeah, so we lost all the stuff for this part too. At least it replenished those. No! Ah, she was gonna grab me. See it in her eyes. I'm not sure. We're gonna fight them. I'm actually wondering if you die in this part, do you have to do the whole fight again? It's possible. I didn't see it save. Maybe I should be more careful. Why are you giving me so many pills? The pills are definitely... My best guess is gonna be the cause of the psychosis. Oh my goodness, so many pills. Oh, okay. It might actually include this part as well, that you have to not die in, maybe. Maybe that's why the boss isn't too difficult. I wonder if this part's gonna be. Look how many pills there are! Oh my goodness. Oh no, 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 not another pregnant one. I bloody hate these things. Down it fast. Keep your babies away from me! I don't want any! Taking this too far? No! Oh, babies! There's enough demons in this town. If I were to find that pregnant monster, I would like to have some words with them. It's bloody horrifying, isn't it? Honestly, probably the scariest thing. What? The game crashed! That's the first time it's ever crashed. No! Do we have to do it again? And it says it was unreal. Hang on. Do we have to do all that again now because it crashed? I don't think there was an autosave. That's the game had yeah, we hadn't had any problems with it. I really hope it wasn't a new graphics driver update. I had to update it because Photoshop wouldn't open. We were doing so good. Yeah, so I mean, it had a good run. I think it's gonna make us do that fight again. Oh, okay. Okay, this isn't terrible. Yeah, this isn't too bad. It could be worse. Maybe we'll just run. I did think it was gonna make us do the boss. Yeah, hopefully. So now we just have to hope it wasn't a repeatable crash. Can't get past her. Can't get past her. I'm waiting between him. Oh, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Oh, might be fast. Alright. Okay, it was as it died, I think, that it kind of crashed, didn't it? And that thing exploded near me. Maybe stay away from it. Yeah, I think that's when it crashed. It's as that kind of hit me. Okay. Not repeatable, just a weird, yeah. It is possible though the game might need a patch after the, you know, NVIDIA update though. That's it? Is that the husband? Is that Foxman? What did she do to him? It sounds a bit more than rejection. I'm putting my money down now and she hurt somebody. Whoa! I might run away from this guy. It's massive! Massive. Oh, but you got to take it, sir. We're in the house. We're in the house. We're in Hinako's house again. Instead of following the breadcrumbs, we've been following the pills. Oh, as we get into the house. Interestingly enough. Whoa! We made a promise. What kind of promise did we make? Oh, rather nothing. nice. Get away, get away, get away! There's so many. That shoe? Shoe messed up? What did shoe do? What did you do, shoe? Oh, go, 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 go. Go, go, go. Ah, maybe because he gave her the pills. He messed up because he gave her the pills. He feels responsible for whatever happened. Oh! Oh, the pills. She has some kind of psychosis in her, everybody.
もう少しの辛抱だ。
Let's get to the door. We can do it. The pills are getting bigger. Oh. Cops? Hinako, what did you do? Going back to the shrine. One of two things happened. Some kind of crime happened. Someone died, or both. Oh no, we're fighting the bride again? She's back!
邪魔をするな。
Oh, I thought it was easy.
私たちの邪魔をするな。
She's got 2 arms now. Oh god. Oh, we're fighting it again. Excuse me? Excuse me? What do you mean? We're gonna have to play New Game Plus to get the full story, aren't we? Oh. It just got stronger. She didn't beat it, it just got stronger. But the sirens are definitely making me think she was on the pills, had some sort of psychosis before the wedding, and when maybe hurt somebody, even killed somebody. Was it Foxman? Is that why he appears to us as a spirit and not a person? Shu feels guilty about it, so it's definitely related to the pills. He was like, why would you do this to me? I was kind to you. Who we suspect to be Foxman. All her friends were like, we didn't see this coming. So I think as we play New Game Plus, and we unlock more endings, we're gonna get the fuller picture, is my best guess. So this is on the first playthrough, this is the only ending we can get. I don't know after this if I trust Hinako. At least not with pills. Ooh, the song. What maketh one a woman to be tainted or of sin? The womb red does seep, from whom does such a colour flow? I think she'd already gone insane by the point of the game, is my best guess. Really good, yeah, we're gonna definitely do a New Game Plus. So plan is to start that on Sunday, New Game Plus. Where I heard there's about 5 I think there's 5 endings in total. So we should have a better choice over the ending in the New Game Plus playthrough. And there'll be things we can unlock that we couldn't before. So I guess kind of like James, she's probably going to be stuck in a loop until you figure out the truth. Oh, oh, oh,
米
oh,
川
oh.
により県警本部県道8号線にて当該事案の被疑者と思わしき女性に襲われた男性
Same
2名
female
のうち
suspect as the
1
wedding
名は
dress.
現在心肺停止の状態
神楽町一より県警本部一部被害者に使用された包丁ですが敷地内からは発見できず被疑者は現在もこれを所持している可能性が高いと思われますどうぞ
県警本部から各局女性被疑者は20代花嫁
In
装
her
束
20s wearing a wedding
身
dress.
長は 160cm 少々常吉神宮より逃走
She
中
went to the shrine.
凶器を所持している可能性が極めて高い各局はくれぐれも慎重に対応されたし
神楽町一から県警本部被疑者は赤と白のカプセル状の薬のようなものを犯行時に断続的に
So
服
either
用して
her
いたとのことです
father and Foxman or Foxman and
県警本
Shu.
部より神楽町一それは式場内で発見された正体不明のカプセル薬と同一のものかどうぞ
神楽町一から県警本部被疑者が服用する際に
Oh,
口から
poor
こぼしたカプセル
Hinako.
薬敷地内から採取
So she was thinking, like, if it wasn't for the pills, would she done this? But yeah, I'm pretty sure the husband had to have been Foxman because the voice sounded the same as the one who was saying, like, why would you do this? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there are those like little notes you can find in the remaster, and when you put them all together, someone deciphered the code on Reddit, and it says I've been here, like you've been here for 20 years, and that's why he looks old. He gets older and looks more haggard as the game goes on, because he actually has been there for that long. I don't know if that was in the original though. I think that might have just been a remaster thing. You like the default ending? I don't know what the others are like yet. I'm gonna let's have a guess. So this one, she just gets arrested, doesn't she? The creature, the wedding creature becomes stronger because she doesn't really defeat it. The pills win. I'm guessing in one ending we can marry Foxmass, in one ending we can marry Shu. There was a little hint that she had some feelings for him. Maybe in another, some sort of reconciliation with the other Hinako who was quite aggressive towards us, like forgiving yourself. That's all I got right now. That's all I got. Gonna be like, yeah, so it was a little bit like, the end credits at Marvel, wasn't it, that? I think at the beginning, was there a police scene at the beginning? Things carried over, fave stat upgrades, non-puzzle documents, certain key items obtained on memory. You can now create save data from the completed game. By beginning New Game Plus with data from a completed game, you can experience changes to the story and have a chance to fulfill specific conditions to unlock new endings. You'll also be able to play on the hard difficulty, in an even harder difficulty setting, Lost in the Fog. So, we should make that save. Late 2. So that'll be Sunday that we're gonna start that. Oh, we can also view endings we've... So there's 5 in total. Ooh, so Oh, it tells you what to do! Oh, okay. Oh, this is great. It tells us what to do. Complete the story. Didn't take any red capsules. Purified the sacred sword, or didn't obtain it. What sword? Obtain the Agura no Hotai Sama. I'm guessing these are things maybe we couldn't get before. Didn't take red capsules. Obtained unpurified sacred sword. Ooh. Complete 2 different endings, and then you can get these. Okay, but none of them require hard difficulty, so we can probably just... We played this one on hard, so we can blast through... maybe just on standard to unlock these. So, what did we think of the first original ending? How do we feel about that? You think she's trapped in her own hell because she couldn't overcome the monster? I mean, in theory, if she wakes up, she's just got a long court proceedings and arrest to follow, really. Yeah. I don't think she can really escape what she's... I don't know, can she escape what she's done? Did that happen because of how we played the game? In the other endings, does she not kill them? Are we able to stop her from doing that? That's what I'm curious about. Yeah, we're gonna use the bunny outfit, it's cute. Also, they did a cute thing where if it's gonna clip, the ears are gonna clip, they're on the floor instead. The devs thought about that. And the ding, 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 it bounces as well. Yeah, so we'll probably use some of the bonus outfits we've got for the next playthrough. Yeah, I would like to see all the endings. I'm curious how we get that one. So, for all of them, oh, complete 2. Listen to the UFO radio broadcasts. Found all 3 of the Great Space Invasion posters. So, in order to pick it, so I'm curious, so for anyone who knows, if they could just confirm this to me, for the endings, do we have to just do those conditions? If we do conditions that meet multiple endings, if possible, do we get to choose then, or does it just mess things up? Because I don't know if we can, like, can you do all of that, but also that? These 2 you can't, because one's Purify, one isn't. What about this? Some alien ending. Strategically save. Oh, no, so what I'm saying is, what if I meet the conditions for this ending, but also this ending? Do I get to choose then? Or will it just automatically go to the alien ending? Go to space and hang out with Kirk and Spock, I'm down. You think she might be able to escape what she's done? Wait, 6 out of 10? Did we play the same game, Dapper? I don't think so. You think she might have died because of the pills? I don't know. They said that she was armed, though. That made it feel... To me, it sounded like she was alive. You don't get to choose, but the alien ending is done within 2 hours of the game. Ah, okay. So that... You don't even get to the end with that one, then. It just triggers. Right, okay, so that's something we need to just be aware of then. For that, I'm just gonna take a screenshot of them so I can write them down later. Coming home to Roost. Drown in a bottomless pit of self-doubt. So that's how they described that first ending that we saw there. We're fighting aliens for that ending. So... probably one of these 2 first. Purify the sacred sword. Oh, do we want to do that? This one might be easier to start with. Obtain an unpurified sacred sword. Only 2 conditions for this one. Maybe I'm the type of person who'll accidentally take the pills, so I gotta be, maybe just not pick them up. Maybe just sell them. Because I'll definitely accidentally take those. So I gotta be real careful about that one. Okay, so the UFO ending cuts the game short. Right. So that one, in theory, is kind of quick to do too. This one we don't know yet. It requires 2 anyway. Okay, we've got mission now. The game was good, just the ending and that you have to play out. You don't like that you have to play it twice. I kind of like this though. I like that there are different, because the game's not that long. It was a bit long for us because we were playing on hard for the first time. But I think these other playthroughs are going to be much, you know, we're going to, one, know what we're doing, two, know where things are, three, I'm going to play it on a different difficulty. Oh, that's true, we can throw them away too, yeah. I think we can just sell them to the shrine. Some more Memori. The handling at the end, oh, it's like near replicant, ah. Yeah, because of the length of the game, I don't mind. I quite like this. I like the idea that, you know, my theory somewhat stuck in a loop. A little bit like Chronos, even, where you can't even get the true ending until you play again because of how timey-wimey it is. In this case, it's more like stuck in psychosis. For the streamer, it's good, but for old man gamer like me, not good. I just love this idea of like the puzzle building up the more she goes through this, and maybe at one point she's gonna be like, hang on a minute, I've been here before. I wonder if we'll get any good weapons, because you remember in the Silent Hill 2 remaster, when you do New Game Plus, there's actually like a chainsaw at the beginning, and it makes the game so much easier. Like, I wish we had that in the first playthrough. Oh. Yeah, so the plan is on, probably on Sunday, we're going to start that. I do want to have a go today, because we finished quite early. I want to have a go today at trying to get the achievement for the boss on hard, where we don't die. Now, for the achievement, that achievement for the boss, does it include finishing the whole game after that? Or is it just the fight itself? Like, after the fight ends, if I didn't die, does it trigger the achievement? I have that mirror, and I'm guessing the mirror doesn't count towards breaking that achievement. It'd be nice if you could use the fox arm always on New Game Plus. But because it's so deep-rooted in the story, my guess is we have to obtain it again. Probably. Let me just quickly check that. What the achievement itself actually says. Someone mentioned it to me, but I didn't actually look at it. Defeat! Without... Oh, no, that's something else. Defeat the Shiromuku without dying once. Yeah. So in theory, it should pop as soon as we've booped it. Yeah, I think it will be. My guess is we're gonna have different bosses for the other endings, so I just accidentally saw an achievement that confirmed that suspicion for me. I almost read it out loud, but I managed to stop myself. Oh, you know, we actually did pretty good. We got quite a few this round. Okay. Yeah, so in theory, as long as I don't get downed, and the mirror shouldn't count. Yeah, she might, well, at least stuck in a mental prison, yeah. The older sister we've been seeing, no, so the older, she has a sister who got married, possibly had a baby at some point, but she felt her sister had changed after getting married. This is my interpretation. And that's why she appears to us the way she does, sort of disfigured, faceless, not herself, trying to convince Hinako to also make the decision, you know, make her choice too. So she does have a sister called Junko. Because at the beginning, her dad says, why can't you be more like your sister? So that confirms she, you know, she exists. But the creature we saw in the wedding dress, that was sort of a manifestation of adult, you know, in her 20s, Hinako, who was at the scene of the, well, fled the scene of the crime. Yeah, because they mentioned she was in a wedding dress. And armed with a knife. So we know the weapon she used. We know two males died, which my best guess was Fox Mask and Shu. Shu thought it was his fault, bless him. I think I did a save before, so we can give it a go. Yeah. Hello, Jenny. Not yet. I think not yet. Captain Sulu and Spock bosses confirmed. I'd be surprised if they got the copyright for that. Alright, let's see if we can get that achievement. It doesn't actually say you have to do it on hard. It says you can do it on whatever. But we'll try. Wait, where are we? But we'll do it on hard. For the challenge. You think she married him but had an affair? She was in a wedding dress, so that tells me she didn't get married. It was likely before, because the whole game has been about, you know, Junko telling you have to make a choice. And I feel like she wouldn't have said that if it had happened. So my interpretation was the wedding... The wedding hadn't happened. Jenny just destroyed everything there. The wedding hadn't actually happened. 1 second, I just have to put everything back. That Jenny... I was just trying to sort of shuffle her off, and then she did a jump, and the jump failed. I'll be right back. Rose sliced up her uniform. Yeah, well, she fell a few times, rolled around in mud, got her back branded. Quite a few things happened. Yeah, it happens as the game progresses. Kind of like how in the Silent Hill 2 remaster, James, his clothes get dirtier, he gets more haggard, older. He looks really tired towards the end. Yeah. So it's just subtle change. I quite like that though, like subtle. Because imagine you start the game, they go for all this shit, and they come out looking like a supermodel that's been, you know, just untouched by nature or enemies. It doesn't quite make sense, does it? This way it actually looks like we've been through hell. A couple of accidents. So now we're just trying to get the achievement with the boss. Okay for me to pop pills this time. early. Well, that was close. Being a little careless this round. Ah, damn it, lost the mirror. Okay. I might not get... Okay. I'm gonna restart if we lose the mirror, because I feel like the mirror is the safety net to getting the achievement on this difficulty. The TV shows where people give birth, but on the next scene magically are perfectly put together with makeup on, which never happens. I had a friend who was in labor for almost 24 hours.
まだ生き残っていようと
You're not gonna look polished after that. You're gonna look like you've been in a battlefield.
所詮は向こう側の人間
Speaking of
私の気
Ethan,
持ちなん
hi.
てわからない
How are you? You're well. Oh, that was bad. I think that might have been a counter. Fun fact for anyone new here, I can't see the counters well. The colors. So I just kind of have to guess when it's time. I have a really hard time seeing it.
待て私を殺すんじゃなかったのか
Oh, can I can still slot things when I'm in battle, right? Because I forgot to do this. Okay. So we just have to get through 3 rounds without dying. We've got 1 safety net with the mirror. Shit. It's the 3rd round I'm worried about. Third round.
今度は私が全てを奪う
Yeah, that's okay. This is the problem part. Run away! If I'm really unlucky, it's gonna come all the way down here. Yeah, I wish we could change the color of it without changing the color of everything. The colorblind settings are very limited. Now, as far as I'm aware, I'm not colorblind, but this game made me feel like I am. Especially, the Sakako fight, I couldn't see anything. Chat had to tell me when to counter. I couldn't see it at all. It's the Higashi! No, you get rid of it! Sorry, there's gonna be a lot of shouting. Oh, not again! We're out really far this time. Okay. So far, so good. I didn't use the mirror yet. Ah. Oh, shit. Blah, blah, blah. Ooh, no. No. Girl. Shit. Oh, really bad spell that. Okay, we use the mirror. Gotta be really careful. Ah! She's getting really angry. Oh, she's really angry. She's really angry. Run faster. Okay. I hate this weapon. Oh no! It was a good run. Did we do it? Did we do it? Did we get it first try? Oh, we did. Hopefully the mirror didn't count. That's my guess is the mirror doesn't count. I didn't get down. I have to check the Steam achievements. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna check the Steam achievement real quick. I don't know if we have to finish like the whole game or. I wish Rinko's fight was that easy. Rinko's was pretty awful. Probably the one I'm not looking forward to doing again. Oh, damn it, we didn't. Okay, I think we have to... I think we have to get to the end. Luckily there's a lot of pills. Yeah, I think we have to get all the way to the end of the game. I don't... Oh, wait, no. No. I got it. Never mind. I got it. Defeated the Shiromuku without dying once. 14.2% of players have this. Okay. We also did it on horror today. Right, so that's all we had to do. A counter opportunity did appear at the last attempt though while you're in focus mode. You saw another counter opportunity again, but it's not very visually clear though. Yeah, so I don't know if they're gonna... Someone said to me, oh, it's harder to see on hard, but I don't think they... Did they make it harder to... I think just the window of opportunity might be smaller, but I don't think they made it harder to see, right? I probably won't be able to see it on the easiest difficulty either. When we were in the village, it wasn't so bad, but something about the lighting in the shrine levels became a bit of an accessibility issue, to be honest. I'll just let the scene play out and then we'll talk about the game a little bit more. Looks like a job for the Witcher. Yeah, this town could use one. Hey, Daniel. You're playing in Lost in the Fog. It doesn't get less visually obvious, but enemies do counterattacks a bit less. Yeah, I also noticed, so sometimes they have two attacks that look the same. One they counter, one they don't. And because I can't see the counter very well, I had to just kind of guess if it was going to be a counter or not. I don't know if I... Hard was... Rinko was pretty rough on hard. I don't know if I want to do that fight in Lost in the Fog, I'm going to be honest. Maybe it's a bit easy when you have, like, some more Omamori and things like that, but yeah, I don't know if I want to do that fight again. On a harder difficulty. We'll see. I do want to focus a bit more on just, like, collecting things for the story on the New Game Plus playthrough. Oh, the parent fight wasn't too bad either. Yeah, I think it was mostly Rinko that gave me some grief. Oh, I'm so sorry. I spent like a good 2 hours on that. I think now I could take her down, you know, maybe in an attempt or two on hard, but yeah, that first time was rough. With Sakako, it took a little while, mostly because of the counter thing. That was the first time where we were having some real issues with it. When I replayed the beginning and did the Sakako fight again, I did actually get her, like, the first or second time. But I also don't know what the bosses are like for the New Game Plus. They might be worse than Rinko. It's possible. I guess they're probably going to be harder than that, because the boss for the default ending is relatively easy. She went down really quickly. Rinko, it felt like, you know, even if I dropped a new Connor, she'd still be standing. That's how tanky she felt. And we had the fox arm and everything in there. And I think I had to do that 4 or 5 times. The fox. Sort of Super Saiyan mode in order to bring her down. And the worst part was when she went into the frenzy, that last phase, the frenzy phase would last longer and longer and longer. And she'd start fighting more erratically and a bit heavier. So if you missed the dodge, you just got whacked into a combo. So it was easy to die when you were very close to knocking her out too. I think there were like maybe 3 deaths where we were really close to finishing her off, but yeah, she sort of swept me up in that last combo, because we were also trying to save our resources as well. And I imagine in Into the Fog there's even less resources, so you probably have to be even more careful about that. Thankfully, when we did bring Rinko down, it was the best attempt, where we'd used really not much. So that's why I had so many first aid kits towards the end of the game, because we ended up not using much on Rinko or the parents. We were able to kind of just spread things out nicely. I think resource management-wise, we did pretty good. So, are we excited, chat, to see more in New Game Plus after seeing the initial ending? What would you like for Hinako, chat? Would you like her to not marry anyone, to get with Foxmass, to get with Shu? What do you think would be a nice ending for her? What are your feelings about Hinako after seeing all of that? Do you think Rinko is as bad as she was perceived to be? So my first Silent Hill game, while I've always been aware of the series and somewhat of the story, my first game was actually the remaster. When I was younger, I wasn't very good with horror games, so a lot of the classics I didn't play back then. Now that I'm older, it's much, you know, I love them. It's much easier to get through them. And very fun with chat. So, this was a great one to go into after playing the remaster for Silent Hill 2. I'm very much looking forward to, I think they said they're remastering 1 next, is it? 1 or 3? And then there's an even newer one coming out eventually too. You think she's mentally quite weak. Ooh, like stuff gets to her more than she lets on, maybe. She certainly seems to have somewhat of an addictive personality. Because she got quite dependent on those pills. She seems to like routine. You think there's more to Rinko and Junko? Ever since she saw the family photo at the start, being cautious about taking things at face value. She's definitely an unreliable narrator, for sure. They often are in Silent Hill. Because the world you get trapped in ends up reflecting the insecurities, the fears, the guilt, the trauma. Marry Foxman because Foxman... Yeah, I mean, we don't really know what he was actually like. We just know... assuming he's who we think he is. That she helped him when he was younger and he fell sort of madly in love. And she said, "I'll never forget you." She forgot him immediately. And then apparently murdered him before the wedding. We don't actually know if he did anything to deserve that. You know? He certainly thought he didn't. It's very possible that the fox mask we see in the spirit world is a perception she has of him that isn't accurate to reality. Maybe he's not the type of guy who wanted her to remove her entire personality and be a doll for him. Maybe he just wanted Hinako. Kind of like Shu. You feel sorry for Hinako because the pressure from society contributed a lot to her condition. Oh, absolutely, yeah. And being always told that she's different and broken and wrong, and like, you know, even her friends saying that. She's a bit of an oddball. Yeah. As to what Hinako should do, I'm not sure. I'm doubtful enough about the events of the game that I'd at least wait to see if I can give it an honest assessment on that. Yeah, like after some more endings. She did stand up for her mom, yeah. But she's too reactive and not authentic. And maybe she gets that from her dad. That reactive side. And the addiction too. When you think about it. He became quite dependent on alcohol. She became very dependent on the pills. And they do say that can run in the family, so... Maybe she's more like her dad than she'd like to be. Her mom was a lot more timid. Her dad probably didn't like that too. That she was quite reactive like he was. You think Foxman Mask is insecure? If Hinako doesn't want him, he should find a more compatible partner. I mean, we don't really know how she truly felt about him. We just know that she had some kind of psychosis and murdered 2 or 3 people. Which could have been partly down to the pills, you know? In the spirit world, she certainly trusted him to a degree for a while. To the point where she went for underwent all those changes. And said, if you check the notebook, she's like, oh, it's one of the, you know, she's ready to give all of herself up and one of the few people she can trust and walk alongside. So I do think, though, those messages we saw, like, don't trust Fox Mask, were probably Hinako. We did have a little theory about, oh, if something had happened to the actual village, because Sakuko had been hearing things, then maybe she went there first, and Foxman had used her as a lure, and the messages were from Sakuko. But after sort of confirming what we saw at the ending, yeah, I think that Hinako left those messages with the doll, because it was her doll, too. I think my best guess is the 2 guys who died were Fox Mask and Shu. or her dad. They're the only three we really know, so I feel like it has to be one of the, two of those. But because Shu was sounding so guilty, that's what makes me think it might have been him too. Do you have much familiarity? I like a little bit, but not too much in regards to the Fox God stuff. The relevance, Silent Hill 1 also had a heavy... Yes, yeah, with the, which again revolved around this mistreatment of a woman, didn't it? Or a little girl, who they thought was some kind of, like, demonic entity. And didn't they, like, try to birth a god through her or something? Old sort of misogynistic religious town that abused a young girl to the point that cursed the town, basically. And quite a few of the themes we saw here, I think, in this game too. Which I guess is why they use the theme, because someone said the music at the beginning of this was in the first Silent Hill. And if that's the case, you know, there's immediately like a clue and a link there. She was taken advantage of. You feel like she was forced into marrying, and that's what, her going crazy. You feel like that's what sent her mad. Well, yeah, I mean, the reason she had to marry is because her dad was a drunk who pissed away all their money. And likely he married off Junko for the same reason. I bet he married off Junko, they got money. And then he spent that money. Got into debt again. And then, you know, this it was sort of half-legitimate nobleman pops up who likes Hinako and remembers her. And they see an opportunity for money and power, title. Because I feel like a full noble probably wouldn't have accepted the marriage proposal from Hinako's family, because they were just a fisherman family. But because of his situation, not being a fully legitimate son, being the maid's son, I think that's why it worked. Hinako's character's a warning. If you push people too far, it's not too long before they push back. I mean, yeah, I think that's something to consider. Yeah. Even the quiet ones, especially the quiet ones, that, you know, don't outwardly let it show. Just get all
New tip from A.
Falcon, thank you so much for the Ko-fi tip. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. How you doing? I hope you're well. Oh, there was Silent Hill 4 music in the school as well. Ooh, I didn't know that. I wonder what the relevant... What happens in Silent Hill 4? I'm not familiar with 4. There's no option 4, Falcon. Oh, God. Ooh, what was everyone's favorite and least favorite monster? As well. I quite like the design of the final boss we fought in the wedding dress. That was pretty cool. Least favorite, the pregnancy monster. Just, that is enough to put anybody off having kids. Nope. But legitimate fear, because, you know, your body changes when you have a bun in the oven, and for some people it's you know, they can have some really severe complications, and it's not a fun time. So I can understand that fear. Silent Hill 4 was more distanced. It was more of a musical tribute. Oh, okay. Hinako was kind of like the joke from the 2019 movie. Oh, the first one. Where he's like living in his own little bubble, and feels pushed by society eventually, yeah. Least favorite is the grapes with legs. Oh, the pregnancy monster, yeah. Just really nasty there. I had my go-to tactic with them was down it as fast as possible with focus attacks. When it poops out a babby, we smash it. Keep a close eye on if it's going to be one that explodes or not. It looks more decayed if it's going to explode. Yeah, and just go ham. Keep whacking it. Otherwise, you're going to get overrun. You like Sakuko? Oh yeah, that was like as a first boss. She was terrifying, Sakuko. Yeah, that was also great design. Just like the jaw and just really chilling Sakuko's. And it also was the part of the game where I was like, oh, these shrine levels are going to be rough, aren't they? They're going to be really rough. So, for some of the monsters, the symbolism's a little more clear than the others. Like these ones we see here. You know, the women are like faceless ball joint jaws. They're naked. But what about the chained man? The faceless chained man who looked a bit like Gollum. What do we think they represent? Been trying to think about that. I'm not 100% sure yet. So I'm curious to hear other interpretations. Yeah, there's definitely layers to the symbolism, I think, for sure. Yeah, one of the most beautiful overworlds in the series. Yeah, with the shrine. I've read, as much as I found them quite stressful, the shrine levels. They were some of my favorite parts in terms of the lore and the story and also Fox Mask was there. I'd be absolutely hopeless in Hinako's position, wouldn't I? I'd be like, Hinako, girl, no, the doll said not to trust him. But then, like, it cut to his face and he'd smile and I'd be like, hey, you know what, maybe it's fine. Shackles? Yeah, maybe being bound by the role. Yeah. The role that society expects of her. I'm trying to figure out why it was a man and not a woman. It looked like a man. Or maybe it was to represent they're both going to lose their identity in a manner. Oh, right. Ah, they're slowly releasing... So not all the monster names are out. Oh, which doll? Oh, the screaming, crying doll? That, like, does the hopscotch. Loss of innocence. Having to give up childhood. One thing we did talk about, after... I think it was after, like, episode 1, was some parallels between the Bowie film Labyrinth and Sarah and Jareth and Fox Mask and Hinako. I felt like there was something kind of similar narratively going on there. You know, she's 15, 16. He's older. In reality, though, I think they were probably the same age based on that flashback we got in the park. But in this psychosis she's having, she's younger, he's older. Like in Labyrinth. Giving her promises of power and, you know, I'm gonna look after you if you stay with me, if you change for me. Oh, the doll that keeps warning her. I think it might be her subconscious. Trying to wake her up. Because, you know, when, I think it was before the final warning, like, don't trust him, don't go this way. The doll was like, girl, what the fuck? Like, it almost looked like it was shrugging at her, you know? Like, why am I here? What's the point in me being here and warning you if you're gonna ignore me? And she went off to, like, the ritual to get her arm pulled off. I think it was then. Yeah. Which made me chuckle a bit, because it it looked like the doll had had enough. Like, this girl's hopeless. There was no helping her. But yeah, my best guess is all the messages were probably Hinako's subconscious. Oh, Kamugara. Does that... Okay. Does that mean anything? Does it represent any kind of... Oh, its name is actually written in katakana. Not hiragana. Oh. It was also blind. There's actually not much information about it. Oh, okay. Some interpretations could mean something like chewed body. The first comment on this Reddit thread, I'm just gonna keep calling them assholes. Fair. Oh, okay, so this other comment is also tapping into what I was also curious about, like, because it's specifically a male model. Not male models, you know what I mean. In shackles, someone else is also wondering if it represents the other side of the expectations and being shackled to the patriarchy as well. In the case of Foxmask, it would be the family lineage, wouldn't it? His mother in the letters is just constantly like, it's your, you know, your birthright. You have to take on the family name. You have to take over. You have to continue it. It's yours. It seems like she wants it more than him. So maybe that represents his shackles as the husband. Camu could derive from... Oh, yeah, Cammy is God as well. It could. But then he also keeps coming back in that shrine level, doesn't he? So it could also represent her... Why male models? I was waiting for someone to say that. Could also represent the abusive father, too. Shackled to the alcohol. But I do think there definitely is some significance in it not being female, like quite a few of the monsters are. One person was like, could it mean empty bite? You didn't like the way one of the monsters that licked her face as an attack. It felt like something nefarious happened to her. Oh, I think that was the chain guy. Yeah, one variant of the chain guy had like a massive tongue. And yeah, that one felt a bit rapey, didn't it? Yeah. Also the way it grabs you and pins you down. Yeah. Could be a metaphor for domestic abuse. The Irohihi. Oh, the fire-bellied gorillas. Oh, is that the one that looks like Chain Man, but it's slightly on fire? Was it that? Then there's also that big one with the drums. Since the dad is an overall asshole, I hope not in that way. Yeah, as far as we're aware, I don't think anything like that happened with her dad, but he definitely beat her, and it's alluded he cut her with the knife as well, isn't it? Which is ironic, considering she used a knife to kill people at the end. So again, not wanting to become like her dad, but inevitably she shares so many similar traits to him, from addiction to the violence. Dapper! Thank you. I appreciate it. We are 66% of the way to Kitty Cat Treat Chaos time today. Okay, so some of the monster names aren't out yet. So some of the monsters, the meaning behind them may become more clear once we get those names. Yeah. Because there aren't many monster variants when you think about it in this game. The ones we see the most are these dolls. But they're all relevant to Hinako's story. The firebell is reminiscent of the sensation of alcohol and consumption. Which would also tie in with Hinako's addiction too, as well as the father's, wouldn't it? Yeah, and it seemed like quite a few of the men in the village had an old alcohol problem, because there's a bottle outside when you're first walking into the town, and even she's like, oh, drinking at this time of day? So it wasn't just Hinako's mother who was dealing with that too. There was likely, other... And she just mentioned at one point that the other wives in the village seem unhappy too. Like, she doesn't seem to know anybody who's in a good marriage to have that positive outlook towards it. Mostly what she's seen is given her a very negative impression that she's going to lose herself, that she's going to become subservient to someone else, that she's going to change, that they might be abusive. You know, she grew up in that household. Maybe it can make you feel like that's normal when it's not, unless you're presented with the alternative. Hey, Simon, how you doing? I hope you're well. Welcome. Yeah, in her Hinako journal as well, she also mentions, observing that they were also drunkards. Yeah, I'm curious if in New Game Plus the journal's going to be different or not as well, like if we're going to have any new notes. I did like that things in the journal changed. Like when we let go of the friends, their pages changed. When we met Junko again and we saw the mask on her, that page changed. You know, when we went through the rituals, she'd scribbled over her own page as well. There were a lot of clues in that journal. Yeah, she didn't have a lot of health. Yeah, it seems like there wasn't really an example of a healthy relationship that she could draw from at all. She felt like she'd lost her sister who got married. Yeah, Sakuko's mother was pretty awful from what we read in the notes. Rinko, her friend, very wanting to stick to the patriarchal mode. I think Shu was one of the few people who accepted her outside of that. Again, we don't know yet about Foxmask because our impression of him is very distorted through the lens of the shrine levels and the spirit realm. We don't know what the actual boy was like yet. Maybe. I'm hoping New Game Plus is going to answer that so we can find out what kind of person he actually is. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better soon, Simon. I'm not too bad. It's been good. Yeah, we finished the game today. We were just doing the boss again so I could get an achievement for not dying. And we're just having a natter about all the themes in the game and what we hope to discover in New Game Plus when we start that later this week. Oh, even the first cutscene is going to be different. I'm so excited. So excited. Yeah, so it really looks like this is definitely a game where you want to play again for that extra info because the whole game's going to be slightly different. Yeah, with Chronos, I'm not sure. It might just be the ending for Chronos that's different. I'm going to try and look into it before we start that, because the poll, y'all said you want to see both, so. You're something of an achievement fiend yourself. We went about this the hard way first, so we played on hard for the first playthrough. I'm not sure what I'm going to pick for the next one. We might just go story so we can focus on lore hunting. None of the endings so far required me to play on a specific difficulty, so we'll see. But the boss fights were certainly a challenge on this difficulty, yeah. You really want to... At first you're going to think, oh, I'm okay with resources, you know what, this is fine. This isn't too bad. But then you get to Sakako and she whoops your ass. Would have been a unique story for Hinako as a character who would have been a good wife and likes marriage despite the toxic people around her. It would have added an air of mystery to her. I think it's very difficult for someone to be in that environment and come out of it that way, honestly. Without any positive representations of it. It'd be very difficult to come out of it like that. I think her outlook on it is realistic when in regard to her situation and her upbringing. Do you mean, oh, cliche? Is that what you mean? I didn't personally find it cliche. I found it realistic. I would have probably not... I don't know. I don't think the story would have made as much sense to me if she was very, like, Rinko's outlook on things. To me, that personally wouldn't have made sense. Is it possible to infer Foxmask's identity before the first playthrough ends from cultural knowledge? There were a couple of things that led me to believe Foxmask was someone she was going to get married to early on. There were a couple of notes about a prestige family dotted around. It took me a while to figure out he was rich and noble. Early on there was that note about I want to, like, capture every drop of your blood or something, and because of where it was in the shrine and just how Foxmask was towards her, he's often giving her eye contact. He tends not to look away. He seems very captivated by her. Bit touchy-feely. I was suspicious that note was his early on in the game. And the more we progressed, the more that theory strengthened. That he was a representation of somebody who either liked her or someone who was due to marry her. And then I started thinking about how he was older than her in this realm. And if we weren't in the present day with the present Hinako, but perhaps with a past regression of Hinako, which got further kind of proved that theory when we saw the flashback with the little boy and the fox in the playground. And they were both the same age then. Yeah, you felt like the game details were done really well. Even the gameplay elements are relevant to the story. Yeah, yeah. I thought it was relatable. He does use very formal, yeah. Yeah, he's got a very good VA. We still haven't seen him fully without the mask on, but based on the lower half of his face, he does look... It does look like he's gonna look like his voice actor. So I feel like I might have gotten a little spoiler there because I saw a picture of him when they announced who it was. But my guess is he's gonna look similar. Silent Hill F isn't very realistic. If you think about it, 90% of the characters are negative in the story, which doesn't reflect perspectives on life. The game is through the lens of Hinako, though. You gotta remember, she's not a reliable protagonist. She's someone who is addicted to pills. And it's giving her a headache. She's getting these skewered impressions of people, possibly seeing things. We saw some notes to suggest that some of the ingredients in the medicine can make you see and hear things. So these people she has these perceptions of are not how these people actually are. Maybe that's what you were missing, Ferd. I think you might be missing that detail about it, perhaps. Because if you're not, yeah, they might just seem like perhaps some cliche antagonist. But I mean, I've known people who were similar to Rinko. Not to the degree of, you know, ripping up photos of you writing die, as far as I'm aware, but, you know, kind of liking to be the center of attention, drama-seeking, getting jealous of you for things you really don't have control over. Yeah, I've known people like that. And we've got to. You're forgetting about Shu. I didn't see anything negative about Shu this entire playthrough. The only thing he did wrong was give her the pills in the first place. But in terms of friendship, there was nothing to suggest he was anything but supportive of her. One of the few people who didn't can make her feel constrained to her gender. It's a horror game, so it is going to dwell on the negative elements more, as it is a core factor of horror. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's like, you know, in Dead Space, you're not going to get rainbows and butterflies, and it's going to be nasty. Hi, Spine! How are you? We saw the ending already, and, you know, my guess was Hinako killed Fox Mask and Shu, maybe, or her dad. But we saw the first ending. And I redid the boss, and I got the achievement for not dying. You've known people who put through so much social pressure in school that it also destroyed their view on people entirely, yeah. Yeah, it's important to note that abuse can, you know, a lot of people aren't going to come out of that thinking positive. A lot of people going to come out of it really damaged. There is, unfortunately, a bit of a cliche in media that people who do suffer from abuse and psychological trauma somehow come out of it like rainbows and sunshine and see things more positively, but that's very often not the case. It's a bit of a skewed perception of it, and I think it puts more pressure on people who've been through that to be perfect and somewhat ignore what they're feeling, which is bad. It's not good. Yes. Well, in Joker, it kind of revealed at the end exactly what was fact and fiction, I felt. It was a bit more clear in its reveal. How you doing, though, Marion? I hope you're good. She was dodging Hinako's questions about what happened to Rinko when he found her, too. Yeah. I don't think he did anything bad to Rinko. I don't think he was interested in Rinko at all, though. I think he wanted her to go away. I think she annoyed him. I don't think Rinko had a chance. You're down with the concept, Dapper. I do think I do enjoy a good unreliable narrator story though, personally, because you get talking, it gets you talking after you think about it, you get all these theories, and especially when it's never actually fully explained too. I think they explained enough for it to be a satisfying conclusion, but I'm so eager to know more. Yeah, that exactly, Helena. And I feel like that's even more damaging because the trauma continues then. Often more gets piled onto it if you're forced to wear that mask. It's another reason why, you know, we enjoyed Astarian's story so much in Baldur's Gate. Because he wasn't that cliche interpretation of a trauma survivor. You know, he was angry, spiteful, selfish. Because of it, it twisted him. Even more so, perhaps, than he was when he was alive. But there were two different paths for him. One where he becomes the worst version of himself, and another version where he becomes a much better version of himself that has a chance to heal. I personally think getting it the perspectives of the other characters in the sense you're talking about wouldn't have made sense for this game for Silent Hill, because of just how Silent Hill works as a franchise and how it's often focused on the psychological, like I said, trauma, guilt, etc. of the character you're playing. You know, not knowing what is Hinako's insecurity coming through and what is actually real is part of the intrigue in the story. Because some things we may have seen at face value. Some of the notes may have been exactly notes written the way they were. But because she's an unreliable narrator, it's hard to tell which is which. Yeah, you like it when those themes are covered in game. Yeah, especially when they're done well. And I feel like this game covered them well and respectfully. I think there were relatable elements in it. And yeah, I don't know. Overall, it was a story I very much enjoyed. Oh, not that he did anything bad to her, but maybe he left her to fend for herself alone. I mean, yeah, she was a bit annoying. But again, none of that actually happened, so I don't know what happened between Shu and Rinko in the real world, but I'm assuming they didn't get together. Maybe he turned her down finally one day. Right spine. You like that idea for a broader game concept as well? Yeah. Yeah, good idea for DLC as well is, isn't it? We're very excited for New Game Plus now, Core. Oh goodness, spine. But yeah, I feel like people who've been through that, you know, they can relate to a lot of the elements in this game. In a safe environment. And it's very possible that women might gel with Hinako as a character more because they're going to understand more of her struggle. Just like how maybe guys resonated with James a bit more than perhaps I did. Unreliable narrator for games and books, the most fun, especially if you go into it, yeah, not knowing and you get suspicious for, that's what happened in this. Yeah, we didn't know at the beginning, we got suspicious. And at the end we were like, oh yeah, there's definitely something going on here. Yeah. One thing that made me very suspicious early on was Rinko pushing Hinako down the stairs. We never saw her actually push her down the stairs. Never actually saw that happen. Just alluded. that was Hinako's perception of it. I actually had to go back and rewatch that scene to make sure we didn't actually see her do it. Because for some reason, the first time we saw her, I was convinced she did. It's almost like the game had tricked me into thinking that scene had actually, like, we'd actually seen the push. But we didn't. And I guess that, again, is praising the narrative of the game. That it could even trick the player into thinking certain things happened the way they did that perhaps didn't. If you watch it again. Yeah, right, yeah. For me, yeah, Baldur's Gate was very much like that. Because I went into it not expecting Astarion storyline to be what it was. I expected him to be some Twilight vampire for me to ignore him and never use him in the team. That's what I was expecting. Which all changed in the second act of the game. Then became one of my favorite characters. I think it's a waste of perspective to simply limit Hinako's struggle to be related to femininity, though. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because, you know, she's got that emotional struggle. As I suspect, some perhaps inherited likeliness of substance abuse if she's not careful from her father as well. Her father's temper. Though it seems for a while she controlled it much better than he did. But it's almost like the temper comes out with the substance abuse. So maybe he was like that too. Maybe he didn't really get violent until he started drinking. I mean, unfortunately, you know, when you do get a protagonist like this, there are going to be people who are going to sort of somewhat discredit it because they're like, I don't want to play a lady. I've seen a lot of weird basement dwelling takes already on Hinako being the main character of this game. And a lot of misinterpretations of like what it is actually about. But also the misinterpretation that this is some don't get married or you will get pregnant and die kind of story, because it's not. Or that it's some sort of weird propaganda saying all men are evil. No, Shu was always presented as a great friend to Hinako throughout this. Yeah, the exhaustion of existing, right, Spine? With those expectations, yeah. Oh, you have a bit of a cultural idea on the pills too? I remember one of the ingredients in them was said to cause like some spiritual psychosis that some people would take, hoping to travel to some spirit realm. Which it was another clue that was making me think she was having some kind of episode. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Give me your interpretation, Spine. But yeah, I'm guessing the pills were the cause of the psychosis. Which I'm assuming she had some addiction to, because Shu mentioned he felt it was his fault. Caused her to have some violent outburst. Alongside this journey that we see here. And the number of pills we were seeing at the end, it was very clear she was popping them when she shouldn't have been. And 2 of the endings require us not to take the pills. So I don't know, maybe we can change that. Maybe we can stop it from happening. You know, the homicides. She originally gave her regular painkillers. Yeah, that's right. It was in the letter, wasn't it, he said. So he switched to the traditional medicine. But didn't that have the psychedelic stuff in it? That's what I was getting at. And I'm assuming that's what she got a dependency on. Sort of slipping reality. I if it's the one some people would use to talk to the spirits. Yeah, that's it. The kudzu root, which is why we see its imagery so much throughout the game. Yeah, yeah. But the flowers behind his house are not peony. They're white Claudia. Oh. Which is the drug from Silent Hill 1 used to commune to the gods. Which explains why the otherworld appears in this game. Yeah, yeah. And why she goes nuts. Yeah. That all tracks. Yeah. Oh, it's just shooting. Me too. Yeah, that explains why he feels so guilty about it too. Just stay away from it in general. It's probably solid advice. It's possible, yeah. Maybe she developed some sort of schizophrenia through it as well. Yeah, could be. She certainly seems to think the worst of some of the people around her. An honest mistake on Shu's part, yeah. Do you think she killed Shu at the end as well? Because my guess was it was either two of the three. Foxmass, father, Shu. What if he went to her to apologize and told her about it, and he just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, you know? Silent Hill is just one really bad trip. Core says, to me it's about desire for choice and identity in a society that pushes you to live a certain way as is tradition. Yeah, that was a heavy element, I think. It was said it was 10 victims at the wedding, 2 males outside. She didn't get actually married though, right, I think? I'm guessing that it all happened just before. So 2 males outside, 10 at the wedding. So she potentially kills all her friends. Sakuko, Rinko, Shu. So I think it's safe to say they're probably all dead. Her parents, Junko, Sakuko. How many is parents, Junko, Sakuko, Rinko, Shu, Fox Mask. Maybe Fox Mask's mum. I don't know who the other 2 could be. Shu's parents. So yeah, if we have 10 victims, I think it's safe to say they're all dead. Damn. I assume they were other men in the village in that fight, no? New game plus will immediately give you more insight though. Woohoo! Different cutscene immediately. Oh, I can't wait. You just play all... Yeah, I'm really excited for those other remasters now. Especially because of just how fantastic Silent Hill 2's was. So yeah, we're definitely going to play that Silent Hill, the others when they come out. I feel like she definitely booped her parents. Yeah, maybe they could have been at the front door, mate. Oh no, it was 2 males at the front door. What comes out first in Japanese weddings? Do they go in together or separately? Because if the ceremony hadn't started yet, or it hadn't concluded to the marriage part, one could assume... Maybe she starts with the 2 outside and then goes in? Or does she start... We have confirmation there's more new stuff in the 3rd playthrough. Wow! Goodness. So each time it's going to be slightly different. Oh, absolutely, Offcry, I agree. Is Control horror? Getting married, cool. Having kids, cool. Not doing so, also cool. It's the choice, yeah. I think, and again, you know, some people on Twitter got the wrong impression of the game, and they were like, oh, it's just feminist propaganda that tells you not to get married and have kids. That's not the point of the game. The whole point is that her choice is taken away. It's an arranged marriage. It's not something she chose, and it's because her dad pissed away all their money. So she doesn't go through with it. There's no money, he's going to keep getting stressed, he's going to keep hitting her mom. She's not got any choice in that situation. Oh, it's like it's the Alan Wake universe. I want to play Alan Wake at some point too. Mostly for that, I just want to see how that dance scene fits into everything, you know? It really intrigued me. The differences are really big. Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm thinking we probably just play on story mode, because as far as I've seen, there's no ending that requires a certain difficulty yet. And we go lore hunting. Yeah. Because I think we can get through it pretty fast on that difficulty. My impression is there's a vocal minority of gamers who wished they lived in 1950s Japan. Yeah, it seems like it, doesn't it? I think some people like to talk on topics they're not well versed in, or games they haven't played, and run their mouth off without actually knowing the context. Yeah, the marriage bad takes are all like, if folks stopped reading at the headline, maybe. Yeah, like reading comprehension. Has it really gotten that bad in the 2020s? Apparently. You get pretty OP later on. Oh, okay. Can we bump it up and down, or? I wasn't sure if we could only bump it down, to be honest. There's a lot of unfortunate incentivations of uninformed opinions. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's a nice, eloquent way to put it, that, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Some really struggle at media literacy. If any of these... No, I don't think any people who said that have played the game, because if they did, they wouldn't be saying that. Because when you play it, it's very clear that that's not the message. I don't think Hinako would mind getting married to someone she loved. I didn't get the impression she wouldn't ever, you know, ever want that. But the problem is, her perception of it is just so skewed, it would take her a really long time to trust somebody to that degree. I think she needs to either be in or have a representation in her life, you know, of a healthy relationship before she can heal. Oh, we can change it at any time during the game. Okay, so if it's too easy, then we can swap it back to hard. My reading on Hinako's feelings for Shu. The scene in the room where we met the other Hinako and she was reading the letters, just some of the things she said made me think maybe Hinako, there were some feelings, but I don't think she'd really process them properly. I think if she does like him, she hadn't admitted it to herself. At least at this 15, 16-year-old time. So I think there's a possibility that there was some interest. Not having a choice in her own life that people need to see. Yeah, and also I think, yeah, none of them complaining mentioned it was an arranged marriage as well. It's like, there's very different from getting married to someone you love, an arranged marriage. Very different. Especially for money and status. You don't care about those things, which I got the impression Hinako does not. Not much in it for Hinako, is there? Also, the best message is crowbars are the best weapon. Oh, okay, that last fight, though, the knife came in clutch. It was so funny. Well, not funny, but ironic that I used the knife predominantly in the final fight, and it turns out that was the murder weapon at the end. You're fishing so hard for alternative interpretations for Rinko, but it seems almost universal. I think she was jealous, but I don't think it was to the extent perhaps Hinako thinks. Like, I don't think she actually pushed her down the stairs. And I don't think she would. I do think she was jealous of Hinako, though, and I do think she liked Shu, and she saw Hinako, and Hinako, I think she was also a little bit jealous of Hinako's... Hinako didn't feel... didn't, you know, she kept saying, oh, she's a bit boyish, you know? Rinko was clearly more restrained by the sort of patriarchal expectations. Maybe she wished she could be a little free from that, but she doesn't, you know, you get so criticized if you do. She didn't quite have the same strength as Hinako in that sense. Yeah, the only problem with the knife is it doesn't last long, but it slaps. And to the two bros online complaining, Silent Hill has always been about the lack of agency and autonomy allowed to women. Literally the first game, the whole town gets cursed because of that. The whole town gets cursed because they had convinced themselves this little girl was evil. Just a little girl. They cursed their entire town by the awful things they did to her. Yeah. It has always been a major theme in Silent Hill. I mean, even in Silent Hill 2, you know, James takes away his wife's choice for how and when she goes. She dies early because he can't take it anymore. And a lot of the game is about him trying to deal with that and come to terms with that and admit it to himself what he did. That he did take that choice from her. Because he was so frustrated. Just means Kay and Hinako are on the same wavelength. That makes it sound like you're worried about me. Like, thinking about how the ending went, is that... I don't know if that's a good thing. Is it bad if he has feelings for her and is adapting? Oh, are you suggesting he only treats her the way he does because he likes her? Shu didn't seem too tied to the patriarchy to me. He seemed to just respect Hinako for who she was and how she was. Saw her as an equal instead of... But he also hung out with a lot of girls. I didn't see anything about him having any male friends, so... I mean, when you've got one guy and 3 girls in a friend group, yeah, there's gonna be some... There's inevitably gonna be a point where you're gonna have the Rinko Hinako situation, I think. That's just asking for trouble in school, that. Oh yeah, Alessa. 2 was Mary and Angela. 3 was Heather, yeah, the daughter he went to find in 1, right? They all coerced or even forced. Wait, wasn't Heather a reincarnation of Alicia as well? Because they don't like Silent Hill, Spine. That's the point. The point is they're just pretending to like Silent Hill. They don't actually like Silent Hill, and they haven't played the game. Or they played it with their eyes closed. And their hands over their ears. I do think the 2020s did something very strange to people and caused this just this wave of everybody just yelling their frustration out whenever they can. Instead of, like, taking a step back and thinking about things. I think it just broke some people, honestly, the pandemic. I think it genuinely broke some people mentally. And they're still not coping well today. Because a lot of people say things that they probably would have otherwise kept to themselves nowadays. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, so she's kind of like a double person, yeah. And a product of what happened in one. Ooh. Bob's just like, yeah. Oh, but I love when we play a game that we can have like such an in-depth discussion about after. I think it's really the hallmark of a great game that when it sticks with you, it gets you thinking. You know, I'm an English literature major here, so you know, I love this stuff. I'm also but I also have a bad habit of trying to guess the endings before they happen. So I apologize that I was right about quite a few things. Sorry about that. Really bad habit of mine that. Never watch a movie with me. You would argue 2016 was what started the break, and then the straw that broke the back was 2020. I was too busy having fun in uni at that year to probably notice if anything was wrong. Yeah, it's interesting when it can be thought-provoking, exactly. There were still a few surprises, though. I hadn't guessed until really the very end that she'd hurt someone. I thought she'd just, like, passed out from an overdose or something at first. You know, spend 4 years in college doing it, it sticks with you. You can't watch it or consume any media without, like, trying to analyze it. It's both a blessing and a curse. It was the same with Kronos. The whole way through, I was like, oh, I was trying to, like, guess who the Pathfinder was and the relation to the Warden. Yeah, part of the risk watching instead of playing. Yeah, that's true. You go crazy when you watch people predict the movie you're watching. What'll happen is we'll watch a movie and sometimes I just say it as a joke as well, like not actually thinking it's what's going to happen, just after analyzing it a bit narratively thinking, oh, they're not going to do this because it'd be too obvious. I blurt it out as a joke, and then at the end of the movie Kenny will just stare at me like this. Because it happened. Sorry. It's not my fault they weren't good writers. Oh, Expedition was great, yeah. Yeah. Expedition, yeah, really kept us guessing until the end, I felt. You felt like it didn't feel like Silent Hill. Is it because it wasn't set in the same town, or? Isolated from society feel. The main characters are never from the location they try to escape. I haven't played Fatal Frame, so I can't make that comparison myself. Tone-wise, it felt similar to Silent Hill 2 for me, this, personally. In the sense of, we got that unreliable narrator who's kind of trapped in their own trauma, their own guilt, their own... Yeah, guilt again, yeah, and their own... And James as well was also trapped by expectations, you know, of how to be, how to act when his wife was sick. He couldn't handle it. Silent Hill 3's protagonist wasn't even in it at the start. It was eventually going there rather than escaping. Oh. You feel like Silent Hill's location is the theme. I can understand if someone's played a few of the games and they've all been set in Silent Hill. Maybe the pulling away from that, it could be interpreted that way. For me, Silent Hill is not the place, but the psychological journey that takes place. It's the otherworld, you know? More specifically, the otherworld. What I really liked about this game, though, was the developers drawing on their own culture. Because obviously, you know, the other games are set in America. But this one was set in Japan, and I felt like it had a lot more cultural significance to them. It reflected them a little bit more too. Kind of like Expedition 33. It just wouldn't be as good and it wouldn't be the same if they hadn't set it in France. If they set it in London like they were originally going to, it probably wouldn't have been as successful. I think one part of the beauty of Expedition 33 was that the developers were drawing from their own culture, from, you know, their own history. And it was just part of the beauty of it all. Traumatic mental space in physical form. Yeah, to me, that's what Silent Hill is. Somewhere the Sandfall team might expect... Oh, yeah, they said they're going to... Yeah, it's basically... So that's like... Expedition 33 is a story within a world. That there will be more stories told. Yeah, they confirmed that. There might be some DLC for Expedition 33 as well. You felt like it was only on a surface level. What do you mean it was only on the surface level? Homecoming had some Silent Hill sections as well. I personally didn't get the impression it was only surface level. I felt like it was more of an iceberg with only a little bit of it on the top and a lot of what you discover underneath. K-pop Demon Hunters gave you that vibe too. Sony made it. Sony, a Japanese company. It was a bit of a mix, K-pop Demon Hunters. It wasn't actually produced in Korea. The room is ash-filled. So they have gone out of the series. They have gone out of there a couple of times then, not just in this game. You feel like it only makes the game interesting from a shallow point. I don't think this game is shallowly interesting, though. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to agree to disagree on that. Yeah. For me, it's... When I say I like that the developers drew from their own culture, I don't mean that I think it was in a shallow way. I think they did it with purpose. Well, we still don't know, Daniel, about the writers. How did the writers have the writers who had something to do with the fire? Do the writers, you know, have something to do with the world? Did the writers write the painter's world? Is it like an Inception kind of thing, you know? I've been thinking about that. You feel like the cultural significance is relevant because it informs the symbols that pop up throughout the characters. Yeah, and also, there's going to be some things that Japanese people playing the game are going to see and understand better than those who aren't as well. There's going to be probably a couple of things that maybe without extra context you're going to miss without that cultural knowledge. Like when we were in the room with Rinko and, you know, they changed red and there were all the pictures and it said die. It wasn't translated at all that. I just happened to recognize the kanji for death. So I knew she was saying die, 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 die. But it wasn't translated for some reason that. So some people might have missed it and had to look it up. That's just a little thing, though. The relevancy of, like, the flowers as well, and the fox god. The overworld with its metal grate floors feeling like a breakdown, and the fog, yeah. The mental fog, yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. I get what you're saying, Corey, yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't have been the same without those. For sure. And yeah, it does feel very committed and grounded into the Japanese horror genre too, doesn't it? Yeah. You also feel like there's a reason why Hinako's a religious, or at least often praying character, despite the conflicting pulls of different roles in her life, yeah. And religion is so important to this village as well. You know, even there's notes from the doctor where he's like, it's difficult to get people to trust in modern medicine because they're so set in their ways. I think it should be 30% of the game's focus. Okay. Yeah, I'm also wondering if they find some of the monsters scarier too, for that reason as well, Helena. I've seen some clips of some Japanese streamers just like screaming at the top of their lungs when these things are coming at them. So yeah, I do wonder if it does make some of the monsters a bit spookier too. Yeah, I personally felt like it was relevant to Off-Cry, yeah. Growing up undiagnosed mentally ill kid was rough, and when you finally saw that foggy town and that horrific metal hell, you were like, oh my god, this is how I feel. Oh. Like, it's just such a visual representation of being trapped in that. I think some fans might take issue with the overworld being so beautiful, but you still think it's a purposeful change and also worth considering how it varies according to characters. Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful but horrifying still. It's disorientating. I dreaded going there because it was rough, you know? The world outside of that was piece of cake. But every time we got to the shrine level, I knew we were gonna suffer. We were gonna suffer a lot. Mentally and for Hinako, physically. Oh, no, we're not saying that people can't panda. So, yeah, please don't misinterpret my words. Yeah, no. I think, just like Expedition 33, someone who's not French like me can enjoy the Frenchness of it very much, so. Just there are some things I might not catch on to that French people would. Like, a hidden layer, almost, you know? Yeah, Angela sees the flames, Eddie sees the frost, James sees the suffocating water. It felt like the movie The Mist. Oh yeah, which is if you haven't seen The Mist, put it on your Halloween watch list because that is a great movie, underrated movie. Fantastic ending. I could never have guessed that. And the ending really sticks with you. Don't watch the TV series. Watch the movie. It's got that guy who played the detective in The Expanse in it. He's always in really great movies that are underrated. So if you see him, you know it's probably going to be a good underrated movie. I think using the Shinto-themed overworld in this context was very appropriate. Yeah, I agree. There's also fear to be found in the intimidation of divine beings. Yeah, and almost the idea of, like, divine punishment, too. It didn't feel like something you'd be scared to play at night. For me, this was more it was definitely drawing more on psychological fear. So let's compare, for example, Kronos and this. Kronos was a lot of jump scares, visually disgusting. You know, made very moist. You were supposed to feel like uncomfortable and dread, and the ambience, especially in Kronos, was fantastic. Really hope they win that sound design award because they deserve it. Constantly had you on edge. You were playing someone who was much tougher than Hinako, someone who can, you know, handle themselves in a fight, but doesn't have many weapons at the start, so that's kind of like the struggle for that character there. But I feel like what was scary about both games was very different. You know, in Kronos it was the ambience, the kind of like just grossness of everything, this impending apocalypse. Heavily focused on quite a few jump scares as well, so you never really felt safe turning any corners. Whereas with this, it's very much more psychological horror. Not necessarily, you know, it's not like The Conjuring with like demons and ghost kind of thing, where you're afraid to turn the lights off. This was more psychological, grounding from fears in reality, that can manifest themselves in the spirit form. And anxiety, almost. I feel like Hinako's point of view being horrific and beautiful is kind of the whole point. Yeah. It's supposed to give you that feeling of losing yourself, losing your sanity, yeah. Not being sure what is real and what isn't, as she also starts to question it. Gotta remember, horror isn't just like a scary face on the screen. It isn't like just the, you know, the grudge girl, like, I don't want to turn the lights off in case she comes and gets me. Or the anxiety of the weeping angels in Doctor Who. Sometimes it's a lot more psychological. You have a subtype of OCD that makes you feel deep guilt very easily, so having a pyramid head and a physical representation of that oppressive energy that you can fight with a sword is nice, right? It kind of makes you feel like you can beat it up, yeah. Almost therapeutic in a sense when you think about it. I feel like I got a little bit of childhood trauma out on Rinko. In the first half, you feel a lot of paranoia. Yes, yeah. There was, you know, when the first enemy jumps out at you, I was around the corner and grabs you. I did become a lot more cautious about turning corners. And I would try to look with the camera around a corner before I went round it. I would listen very carefully for signs of a monster. It made me a lot more cautious about where I was going. I genuinely do think that pregnancy monster is horrific, though, and if you showed that to any young girl, they would never want to have a baby. It's awful. Like I'm an adult, and I thought I was like, Jesus, that's nasty. I don't think you have to. I mean, well, right now, I think maybe there's some misunderstanding. Right now, we're having a natter about interpretations, though, and our thoughts and feelings on the game. I don't think any of this had to be explained to the player personally. This is just stuff from my observation from playing it, you know? So personally, I think they did show it. But because you asked and said you felt it wasn't horror, I was explaining why to me it was. Does that make sense? To me personally, it was clear. I felt like there was a good mixture of showing and telling. It didn't hold my hand too much. But it also let go of my hand at points where I found made it interesting. And which you could also argue was visually represented with Fox Mask. He would often hold her hand, walk her to somewhere, and then just sod off. Leave you in the dark and confusion, and then suddenly a monster would appear. Hey, welcome, how you doing? The default ending being trapped in the pit. We don't know. We don't know if we can change that either. Yeah. So we'll find out in the next playthrough, I think, Kusa. how grounded that event is. Oh, sorry to hear that. But yeah, hopefully it'll get better today. There's one horror, having to run away instead of being able to wear power armor and a nuke. As someone who noticed various telegraphing of reveals due to the Shinto familiarity, you think it's still not hand-holdy. It gets you thinking, just enough, I think. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully you're okay. And now I got taken out of the game when she cut her arm off and started fighting with a mutated arm, because when did this game become prototype? I mean, that was a lot. All of those rituals were very important to the plot, though, and the idea of losing your identity. It was a visual representation of that. Becoming more like the fox mask, than herself. With each ritual, she lost something. And it all related back to the fox themes. Oh, well, that's good at least. Yeah, take it easy. I don't know. Are you trying to play devil's advocate here? Is that what it is? Is that what's going on here? I think a piece of media can have realistic themes in it, but still have something like a spaceship in it. It doesn't. When we say there's an element of realism to it, it doesn't mean that it's all realistic. You can have realism in fantasy. You know, like there's some core themes in Lord of the Rings, for example, that people can relate to, and that for Tolkien were representative real things that he went through, even though it's fantasy. Yeah, or become more allegorical, exactly. And yeah, that's a good point, Helena. We often can't portray psychological trauma through the lens of realism because the mental interpretation of it is going to be skewed. I haven't played Metal Gear Solid, sorry, so I can't make that comparison, I'm afraid. But Helena says yes, so I'm going to trust Helena on that. The trophy picture for the default ending is hands drowning in blood. Yeah, which tracks with what we saw, yeah. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I'm just curious to know if we can change that, because 2 of the endings require me not to take the pill, so I'm thinking maybe that's not set in stone. Maybe we can stop that. We'll see. We'll see. My opinion might change after we get into New Game Plus, though. Yeah, like in the OG Silent Hill 2, you had James hauling Pyramid Head's entire sword throughout a large... Oh, yeah, I don't think that happened in the remake. Oh, at least it didn't happen in my playthrough. At first I was horrified by the fox arm, but as soon as I figured out, oh, we can stop the enemies from coming back with it, I was like, you know what, Foxman? Thank you. I'll take it. Because this place is awful. There was some, like, almost relief I felt, just knowing I could stop the enemies from coming back. But then I also had this impending dread that because I'd gotten the arm, the bosses were going to get a lot tougher. And then the feeling of loss when we got to the, back to the world, and she didn't have it. I'm like, okay, so we gotta fight with the little weapons now. Okay. In the remake, James hauls it to only scare off the other monsters. Oh, yeah. Awesome change, though. Very symbolic and powerful. You think Carl Jung would be proud? I really enjoyed the Silent Hill 2. Yeah, it was really good. Because I always thought, from someone who knew a bit of the stories but had never actually played any of the games, that, you know, Pyramid Head was just this big, bad, nasty boss guy. So the reveal of him actually being the sort of catalyst to push James to discovering the truth and you know, really there to help him was an interesting twist. You were baffled by the fox arm, as in a way. Oh, but I think. Oh, did you miss the scene where it happened, Daniel? If you missed the scene where it happened, then that makes sense why you were confused. The fox arm, ironically, would allegorically be pro-marriage allegory in a way. I mean, yeah, in her journal, she says like she's willing to give everything, you know, her whole self to him, the thing that she didn't want to give up. Yeah. So it's almost like it kind of represents that struggle as well. Maybe there's a part of her that did like him. I think as we play more, though, we're gonna get a better impression of who Fox Mask is in reality, what kind of person they're like. If they are like her father, if they're more like Shu, if there's something in between, if they're nice, if they are wanting to take her identity, you know? We don't really know much about them. We just know that they really liked her when they were younger because of she saved them, she helped them. I haven't tried Death Stranding. No, it's a PlayStation game. What does the fox say? You know, sometimes when he was talking, I didn't quite listen to what he was. I got a bit lost in his eyes, I'm not gonna lie. Second playthrough, I'll answer that question. Like I said, I just have absolutely no hope as Hinako. Yeah. You don't think it was accidental the enemies became easier with that when you factor that lens into, oh yeah, absolutely, because she's, you know, not just herself anymore then, is she? Oh, I mean, I've already kind of, yeah. I don't think we got a name for him yet, but I've already worked out, I think, who he is. Like, I'm gonna be surprised if he's not that boy. Hinako is just an alpha wolf like that. Yeah, yeah, early on I think the big clue for me was when I rewatched the scene with Rinko and Hinako and noticed she didn't actually push her down the stairs. That was a big clue. Things are not as they seem. We talked a little bit about that earlier. Believe in the fox mask. I mean, the doll says not to trust him, but if evil, why handsome? I don't know. We don't know enough about the person who he represents yet for me to make a solid conclusion on that. If I think he's someone who'd be good for Hinako or bad for Hinako. Yeah. So I'll get back to you on that. Kay's the problem. Look, you know, I'm a sucker for a white-haired character with a bit of mystery and intrigue about them. What can I say? For some reason, slightly overworld, veering onto monsterish. I don't know why. We all have a type, okay? He's so mysterious! He is! The moment he popped up, several of us were like, oh, what was that? She didn't cut her face off. What I'm assuming were the bride Hinako's did. Yeah. But yeah, no, that was the worst part, the face thing. At first I thought he was just gonna take the eyes. I think the face might have been worse. I do think the fact that Foss Mask became an icon is a success for the way the character is used in the story. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah. So much fan art. So much fan art. You know, some people say, you know, a handsome male character won't do well in games like this. Be surprised. They also sell. Yeah, the white hair, it's the white hair that does it for you. Now, I'm guessing in real life he probably doesn't have white hair. That's probably part of the whole spirit visage of him, I'm guessing. You know, I was never, you know, I was actually a Vincent Valentine girl. I was never a Sephiroth girl. I don't know. Maybe now I'm older. But yeah, no, I actually like Vincent Valentine. But I've, you know, I'm not huge on the Final Fantasy games, so. The precise use of brutality in the game as well. The rituals were really explicit. Yeah, like they were. That was uncomfortable to sit through, and it was supposed to be. I'm glad the game can get this much conversation. Yeah, I mean, it's the product of a solid game, that, if it gets you talking. Vincent is best boy, it's true. I loved him. Sephiroth steals the spotlight, though. Oh, he has one of the best theme tunes in gaming, up there with Raphael and Baldur's Gate, yeah. She was blacking out a lot, too, throughout the... Yes, she was, yeah. Whenever she knocked out, she'd go into the spirit realm, wouldn't she? Whenever she knocked out or went to sleep, she would end up with Fox Mask. Now... You know, there are worse things that can happen when you fall asleep, you know, waking up in the arms of a handsome stranger. The horrors of the shrine are to balance that out. It's not all bad there. Oh, you played too much of Final Fantasy and got burned on it. Oh no. I thought all the characters were interesting in this. They're all pretty solid. I enjoyed learning about them. There were things where if we went out of our way to explore more, we'd get little hidden lore gems too. There are things that you can totally miss as well and get a skewed perception of if you don't explore. So I like when exploration is rewarded. You think it'll continue to bring up much discussion? It'll probably do so and come closest to the amount that Silent Hill 2 has, which is almost 25, almost among all the games. Wow. Yeah, I think so, because everyone's going to have different interpretations of the ending as well, different feelings about Fox Mask, about Shu. Like, yeah, like one person in chat said they thought Shu was a bit creepy. Some people in chat really didn't like Fox Mask. Other people were like, ooh, about Fox Mask. Some people didn't trust Hinako. Some people like Hinako. Some people can understand her. Some people can't, you know. A lot of people didn't like Rinko, but I've also seen threads where people talk about why the way Rinko acts is reasonable. So the characters are multidimensional like that. I like this game more than Stellar Blade. Yeah. Stellar Blade, you can't compare this game to Stellar Blade, because Stellar Blade, even the director said, the story was lacking. It's more of an action game. The combat is where Stellar Blade shined. The story was, nah. I never finished it, but I already know we're probably fighting Adam at the end of that, so. Without finishing it, I can probably guess the ending. You're Team Shu and Anti-Fox dude so far. Anyone else fall for Lewis from the Resident Evil 4 remake, or is that just me? What does Lewis look like? Did I feel like Hinako? I don't think Hinako's a reliable narrator, no. What's his name? Yeah, so I don't think you can really compare. Yeah, the story isn't stellar, so you really can't compare this game and Stellar Blade. They're two very different games, very different genres with very different focuses. You would have to probably compare Stellar Blade to something like Nier Automata, maybe. That would be a more fair comparison. Oh, he's got a bit of a rock star vibe to him. I can see why you like that guy. Oh, he looks sassy. Just the pose alone. Looks like a character Neil would play. Yeah, they've also got some outfits of Nier Automata and Stellar Blade too. Yeah, I would say it's probably close. It feels like it's probably closer to that game. I like Stellar Blade, but the community around it was one of the hardest we've had to moderate, and it's one of the big reasons why I didn't finish it. I just didn't feel comfortable. Unfortunately. But I enjoyed the combat. Solid, like, 7, 8 out of 10 game. Pop in, say hi. Hope you're having fun with Spooky Game. You're not very good with Spooky Games, is why you're not here, but I hope you're... Oh, we already finished it, I hope. So we're just nattering now, so you're, you're good. I think so too, Kusa. Yeah, I think it was relevant to it for sure. What does that mean, that word? What does Gooners mean? I keep seeing it, but I don't really know what it means. Because the Nier games have great stories. Oh. Okay. Maybe just the combat then. You're not gonna get that from Stellar Blade story. A lot of the lore is in things you read. But again, the director specifically said in the next game they want to focus on story more because in that game they put most of their money into gameplay. So they mulliganed the story because of that. So you're not going to get that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. The story's not going to be like that then. Don't look it up. I shouldn't Google that. Okay. I'm going to take your word for that. Yeah, you can see that. It's very interesting to see what kind of people different games bring in. Yeah, it did make me more cautious about what we play on stream. Even if I like, you know, I enjoy a game, maybe some are better not to stream. Which is a shame. Eevee's more iconic than Hinako? No. Eevee was pretty one-dimensional, honestly. I liked her, but you can't compare her to a character that's as in-depth as, like, Hinako. Or even, like, Shadowheart from Baldur's Gate. They're not... She doesn't have enough... You know, the writing behind her is not the same quality. I'm assuming in the next game she'll probably be more three-dimensional, but I found her to be quite 2D. Oh, is like, so a lot of people who enjoyed Nier probably went into Stellar Blade then. Ah, is that what you're saying? Yeah, I never played Nier, but I always heard really great things about that game. You hope this game gets more updates, because yes, it does need, they do need to fix the issues people have been having with the screen tearing, for sure. Yeah, poor PC optimization was this game's downfall. Hi, welcome. Thank you for the raid. I hope you had a good one today. We finished the game. We're just having a good old natter about it right now. Iconic is recognizable? How? Even design-wise, I personally don't see that. I find design-wise she was quite similar to their designs in the Nikki game. I don't know. I think if I was her designer for the next game, I would probably try to give her something more distinct. When it comes to like games of that genre, I don't necessarily think as a design she stands out, personally. I say that as someone who enjoyed the game. It slows down even a little on PlayStation. Oh, even on PlayStation 5. So the cutscenes are 30 FPS for some reason, which was part of the issue. But Hinako's supposed to be an average schoolgirl. That's the point of Hinako. She's literally a schoolgirl. The idea could happen to any of them. Like James just looks like an average white guy. Because it could happen to anyone. Like, you know, I can see 10 Jameses at the shops. But it's sort of his perspectives and what he goes through that, and the writing behind him that makes him more of a unique character. Alicia? Oh, Alicia had a very, in Expedition 33, yeah. I think the way they designed Alicia and Mael made them both very visually distinct. It was every design choice in Expedition 33 was meaningful and striking. Just beautiful game all around. Average doesn't make you stand out. Well, I mean, yeah, but you could also just say that Evie is just your standard booby girl. If we're gonna play that game, you know? Like, she doesn't look any different to the booby characters in Nikki. Who are also in that game. But the difference there was that she didn't have the writing to really flesh out the character, I felt. Which, again, I think they're gonna fix in the second game. When they focus more on the writing. Writing is a huge part of the characters. Yeah, also that's also a really, really important point, Offcry, as well. Yeah, we're talking about a culture where people don't want to stand out. You know, it's... And try to conform. Put Evie in a cosplay convention. We're gonna have to disagree to disagree. I personally just don't think the character designs in that game are better than the character designs I've seen in Silent Hill as a series. Bayonetta. Hang on, let me just check that that's the game I'm thinking of. I haven't played it, but I can think of the main character immediately. And if it is the one I'm thinking of, then yes. I would probably agree. Yeah, okay, it was who I was thinking. Yeah, the fact that I haven't played it and I'm like, I know that character. Hinako wearing different colors is a lore break. Rinko would mock her for that and even the surrounding people. Yeah. James is widely considered to be an iconic character. Yeah, despite him looking like, you know, your average white guy that you could see at the shops. And again, a lot of that is the writing of his character is part of what really makes him iconic. It's not all about visuals with character. You know? Backstory. Trauma. Their virtues and vices are also part of what makes them striking. Nurses! You're gonna sit here and tell me the nurses in Silent Hill are not iconic? That you don't see them every sodding Halloween? You're gonna sit here and tell me that the nurses are not iconic? Yeah, maybe the silhouette is part of it, Dapper, yeah. And the wings. I have no idea what that game's about, though. But more visually striking than Eevee to me, personally. You know? But again, like I said, I think Stellar Blade 2 is going to fix those core issues I feel the story and the character had. I just found her to be a bit boring as a character, that's all. But again, I think she'll be more interesting in 2. What I liked about that game was that the director was very aware of the game's flaws and where they needed to improve. Which means you're probably going to get a vast improvement on that in the next game. Because they're not ignoring it. You know? They're like, yeah, we need to do better there. Iconic is more than just like a shirtless character or big tits, yeah. Or a slutty outfit. Striking, I feel like striking and distinct and iconic are different things. The mannequin monster from Silent Hill as well. Oh yeah, the one that, wait, we're talking about the sausage monster, sausage strippers? We're talking about the sausage strippers. It's like a little sausage and stilettos. Turned out they really were strippers. But yeah. Again, it was the lack of world and lore building and character building, which they'll fix. Oh, Heather Mason as well, yeah. Oh, Abstract Daddy. Oh yeah, that. Oh. Like, there wasn't enough time for me to process visually Abstract Daddy and the metaphors and everything behind it before it attacked me, to the point where I was actually almost, like, stunned. And it took me a second or two to actually, like, start dodging it, because I was just so horrified by what it was. Yeah. Abstract Daddy's definitely one of the worst in terms of, like, when you see it and then the meaning behind it hits you. It's like, oh, fuck. And then you kind of just don't want it to get close to you, but you also want to boop it for her sake, you know? And it's just, I feel like it just sends you in this sort of a psychological spiral, that fight. That I hadn't quite experienced in another game before. Of just very deep discomfort. I think most people probably think of either Pyramid Head or the nurses, yeah, for Silent Hill. The movies are partly why, I think. That might be. People outside of playing the games probably think of those two. Keep hearing Silent Hill F isn't Silent Hill. I personally think it is, but a different flavor, yeah, like you said. For me, Silent Hill is the psychological trauma they go through. It's the other world. It's that manifestation. It's not a place. Though it is also a place. I don't think its core is a location. Maria wasn't designed to be visually distinct in either adaptation. The OG, she's like got a Cameron Diaz face. With Christina Aguilera fashion in the remake, she's more realistic. Conventional beautification. Yeah. And it makes sense for kind of like when you think about when the game came out as well. Drawing from pop culture a bit there. And the fact that the Silent Hill version of her is more... of his wife is a bit more slutty. A little more risque. Beautified version of his wife. Who's quite... just normal looking, you know. Again, tells a lot about James. And it's where the design and the story converge. And this is something some games miss. They might make a visually striking character, but it doesn't have meaning behind it. Expedition 33, I think, did design choices with meaning very well. Yeah, I've seen both, and I think I prefer the remake as well. Yeah. Just feels more grounded. Yes, yeah, so Maria looks like she's more catering towards that male fantasy. Which is like the lens of James and his frustrations, yeah. I think it is how the difference between them is important to James's story. Again, meaningful design choice. You love when you see it. Even, you know, colors as well in a design can also have specific meanings too. Not just their sort of visual appearance. Down to colors, little details. It's coming back now. You remember? Oh, you remember when we played it? Yeah, no, I think Fox Mask is handsome for a reason. So handsome, pretty white hair. I mean, have you seen his VA? He looks anything like that. I'm in trouble. I'm in danger. Art history major and color analysis and visual analysis are part of that because it's all so interesting. Yeah, I felt like his attire gave me wedding vibes from the start, which is when I started putting together the creepy letter with and thinking about what he was dressed in, which was a very formal. I was talking to Kenny about whether it was a kimono or a yukata, and I do believe it was a kimono. But yeah, it gave me, like, we knew he was rich. It was definitely something a rich person would wear, which then started to connect him to the letters about the rich family. So again, if people didn't pick up on those points, like, oh, this is something a rich person would wear. Oh, this has, like, wedding vibes. Maybe it would take longer to connect those dots. The English cast of Silent Hill F all played Silent Hill 2 together, and you got to see it. Oh! You know, I don't know much about the English cast because we played the whole thing in Japanese, so I only saw, like, the Japanese cast stuff so far. But I should check out the English as well. You hate when hardcore fans insert iconic franchise here say it isn't a true game. Looking at you, Resident Evil fans and Final Fantasy fans. I can imagine those get it a lot, yeah. The more even Fallout has that. The more games in the series, the more that's gonna happen. You know, when you think if Fallout, it's like New Vegas versus every other game. the New Vegas fans are very loud and proud about what they like and don't like. Every single time a new game launches, it's like the same clockwork. You're sure to, by now, there's an hour-long lore videos on this game. Oh, there must be, yeah. There must be. There's so much to unpack. I mean, we've been talking about this for an hour and a half already, yeah. So much to, but it's so interesting. I want more. I need more. all the death metaphors in the game, another thing to point out is the white for a wedding, but also the color of but also the color of death in Japan. Oh, right. Oh, that is interesting. Oh, also the spider lilies, you know, they represent death and loss. Even here in Korea, you know, you tend to see them at funerals. They got similar metaphors. They're also kind of creepy, spider lilies. Just in general. The OG James VA also joined and commented on a stream of his game. Aww. Well, that New Vegas veteran. We're probably going to play that again over Christmas. New Vegas was your introduction to Fallout. You're 11. The Vault 22 plants gave you nightmares. We did that Astarion in New Vegas playthrough last year with the cosplay, and me accidentally shooting the lottery winner guy point blank with a shotgun felt very in character. Just reminded me of that. The whole not true X game reflex is a bit tragic for you. I think it's more fulfilling to find connections than just to dismiss stuff quickly. Oh, absolutely. And again, media literacy. I need y'all to do it. So we got through a few episodes, and then the game had this really bad memory leak, and we just couldn't play without it crashing anymore. Couldn't handle his hair, maybe. But I think you know what? He looked pretty. He looked like him. I managed to get him pretty close. After I found the hair, it all came together. But it was as chaotic as you can imagine. Yeah, absolutely, F-Cry. Yeah, all the growth in this game, it's spider lilies. It did make me concerned we were going to get a massive spider boss at one point, which thankfully did not happen. Chronos had some spider enemies. Every horror game, usually. Every horror game is some spider-looking nightmare. So thank you, Silent Hill F, for not having that. I appreciate it. Though I don't know what's worse. Would I take a spider or the pregnancy monster? Both pretty bad. There was something quite bug-like about the pregnancy monster, too. Okay, Silent Hill Homecoming has a lot, so don't play it, maybe. Noted. Now, oh, yeah, oh, God. You don't know what the third playthrough has up its sleeve. Yeah, I might be speaking too soon. It's very possible. There could be a freaking spider as well. Yeah, you're right. Oh, God. I'm probably speaking too soon, aren't I? Oh, no. Uh-oh. Yeah, everyone in chat was like, oh. Grapes with legs. Lessen the fear factor. And it just poops out seeds. They do look a little bit grapey, don't they? It does look a bit like a bunch of grapes. Oh, goodness. Grapes! See, I don't know what the captions thought I said then. I couldn't quite piece that together, but it thought it was something naughty. Grapes. This is like, what was it? What were the subtitles saying? Every time I said fox mask, it thought I was saying something else. And when I said Hinako, it thought I was saying Hanukkah. Oh, Fox Mountain Dew. When I said Foxman 2, it thought I was saying Fox Mountain Dew. Fox Mountain Dew. Shoe keeps coming up as shoe. Oh, that makes sense, because the pronunciation's very similar. But how do they get Hanukkah from Hinako? You see that? You see that right there? It kept getting the last name right, but every time I said Hinako, I thought I was saying Hanukkah. I think I've made my point. Fox Mountain Dew, you're up next. Hanukkah Beverage, your next Japan visit. Yeah, it doesn't understand Japanese, unfortunately. Hanukkah Shimizu. Oh my god. It's getting worse. That time, did you see how it said Shimizu then? It understands Shimizu. It just doesn't understand Hinako. How does it sound like Pinnacle? Go home, you're drunk. Pinnacle. It's like, what rhymes with Hinako? And then just farts a random word. This is like when we were playing Baldur's Gate and it kept saying Baldy's gay. I was like, it's not quite not quite the same game. I know, even when I enunciate very carefully, it still has a go. Oh, you're sad we didn't get given a Shimmy Zoo. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to ruin the game for you with no Shimmy Zoo. You have to be 18 to play the other one, and, well, Baldur's Gate... I mean, we do call it Baldur's Gay occasionally. It is a very gay game. Gloriously so. Yeah, it kept thinking I was saying bald is gay. Like, there's some correlation between bald and that. Specifically. I mean, Baldastarian kind of is, I guess. I guess that works. You won't be happy about the bald part, though. Someone did do a mod, and it did change the title to Baldur's Gay. Went on the main menu. So some people are playing that. Thank you for coming out to us as bald, Professor. Very brave of you. Oh, they do. There's some great mods for Baldur's Gate. One of my favorite games of all time. We gotta resume that Dark Urge playthrough at some point. We got a playthrough of Dark Urge, and his concept is he's very handsome, but there's, you know, the lights are on, but nobody's home. And his dice rolls have really been reflecting that. He somehow managed to catapult himself into lava in one episode. Off screen. Only noticed something was wrong when his health started going down. As he says, and I quote, "Better watch out for the lava flow." Already got him, whatever it was. And then we had that weird bug where when the camera cut to him after Astarion was talking about the tadpoles, his face was stuck like this. So every time it cut to him, his mouth was just like catching flies. To be fair, catapulting yourself into lava is very gay coded. Yeah, so that character, he's really embracing that -1 intel. He's a fighter barb. We're very proud of him. He does get into a lot of trouble though. The tadpole was literally dying of hunger in that man's brain. Yeah. But, you know, he gets through life being pretty. He'll be okay. The part is he doesn't even know it. He doesn't even know that's why. Because I don't think he's ever seen a mirror. He just thinks it's pure luck. I would know. Oh dear. Please don't catapult yourself into lava. It's, very painful. I don't think, even Dark-Haired would not recommend doing that again. Oh. Oh, yeah, hey, you know, that could be another layer to it. You never know. You never know. Maybe Rinko was not actually jealous of Shu. She was just closeted. Yeah, that could be an interpretation. I feel like that could be a genuine interpretation. You know? She liked Hinako too much. So, yeah, I feel like someone could argue that. We're not given enough information to count it, discount it. It's your number one daily asexual activity. Ah, lava bath. Just speaking from a literature perspective, you know, a big part of English literature is somewhat, you know, taking a potentially bullshit concept and making it sound believable. In fact, you get more points for that. You're more likely to get an A if you do that in English literature. I know it's low likelihood, but unreliable narrator, and you still got a few endings to go, right? Until we've seen them all, when I can't discount it 100%. You feel like it's a valid interpretation, especially given the culture of hiding parts of yourself that would bring the family shame. Exactly. Yeah. And sometimes people are extra mean to the people they like, especially in school. Maybe that's why she keeps saying Hinako's boyish. She's trying to justify it. I could go on. That's how you do an English literature paper. You take your bullshit and you run with it. Oh. Why was the shirt red? I don't know. Maybe because the author just like the color red. A lot of the time, that's all it is. They just like the color. It doesn't always have a meaning. But if you're writing an English literature paper, you gotta BS it. I could go on and I will. What have I done? There'll be fics out there. Someone's had this discussion already, I'm sure. Someone has already suggested that. You passed exams with essays, long essays. Mm-hmm. The blue meme. Oh, you talking about that dress? Kind of did happen with part of Silent Hill too. Wait, what? Red shirt means you survive in Star Trek and you won't at Target. I don't make the rules. That'd be a great line in a paper, that. Red shirt means you survive in Star Trek and you work at Target. There are two interpretations here. Oh, the meme of overanalyzing a detail. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I can see people doing that a lot with Silent Hill 2. It really is the foundation of English, it is. Yeah. Any analysis of literature. Honestly, most papers are just people making stuff up and going with it. But the more interesting the topic that you've bullshitted is, the higher it's going to be graded. So you really got to use your imagination. As long as you can back up that argument, no matter how ridiculous it initially sounds, you're getting an A. People heavily speculated about the randomized whispers in one of the apartment rooms, only for confirmation to appear after 2 decades. It was in fact gibberish. Oh yeah, because even like, you know, gibberish people want to it'll be like, I must have a meaning and I want to know what it says, or I think I can hear what it says. That's great though that it just ended up being gibberish. Again, I feel like it further, you know, proves my point about the over-analysis in English literature, yeah. It's exactly that. So many rabbit holes. You remember the whisper? Do you remember over-analyzing it too? I mean, it's one of the great things about these games, though. They get you in that mindset. To the point where you might feel like you're going mad at some point. You know, trying to connect all the dots. You know, like that, what's it? That's Always Sunny in Philadelphia meme with the conspiracy board. It gets you like that. Pepe Silva. That was kind of me throughout this whole game, just like my Fox Mask Man board. Is this him? He's from that family. He looks like that. He tried so hard to figure out the whispers. Do you think the developer put them in at the time knew that? Or if they put it in intentionally to screw with people? Because I could also see a dev being like, ha ha ha, oh, this is gonna get him talking for decades, this. Intentionally putting something in there with no meaning just to see the community go nuts over it. I'd totally do that if I was a developer. Just, you know, you gotta have some fun. Yeah, yeah, I think it's from the context. It does sound like it was probably just a background detail, but I also love the idea of just a dev chuckling to themselves every time someone talks about it. There was a game called The Year Walk that was like that. Beating the game wasn't beating the game, and it made you feel like you were going mad. Well, that's a twist. Team Silent in the day. Ah, it was, yeah, so it could also be limitations of the time as well. Yeah. PS1 era. Games were quite limited back then. Even the fog started out as a trick to reduce resource consumption, yeah. Which, and then became iconic to the series. Yeah. So sometimes happy accidents. All right, shall we feed the kitty cats? Let's, they've been waiting. She's staring me down. Okay, I'll be right back. We're gonna go get the Treatos and feed the kitties. A nice, cleanse from all the horror today. All right, I'll be right back. Okay. Here you go, goblins. See? Killy, what was that? All I heard was a loud bang. Killy? Yee. 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 Yeah. Benny. Wow. Goblin. My Jenny's gone full crocodile. Oh, no worries, Dapper. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, oh my goodness. Ravenous this morning. Oh, a moth? What? Careful! Be careful, Jenny. Can't inhale it. And oh my goodness. I know, twice in a row that. Killy. Sorry, Jesse. Went all over him. Whoa, Jenny, look! Going everywhere. Nom. Oh my goodness. Jenny's gone into full goblin mode there. Oh, goodness me. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for a lovely finale episode and what ended up being a lovely little round table talk at the end, too, of our first Silent Hill playthrough. We will be doing a new game plus. That's likely going to start on Sunday this week. So on Friday, next stream, we'll be checking out the Mischief Night event in 76, having a little community games day, just chilling together and exploring all the new Halloween stuff, getting that backpack. On Saturday, it might be the Love and Deep Space stream for Xavier's birthday. It's my guess when it's going to happen. If it doesn't, we'll either bump Silent Hill up or do another community games day. If it doesn't drop on that day, I'm going to reshuffle things. But I'll do a post about it on Discord and YouTube if it doesn't end up being on the day I'm expecting. And that'll probably have, you know, a little bit of impromptu cosplay again as well. We'll pull for the card, watch the cards together, do the event. It'll probably be around a 2 to 3 hour stream, that one, I think. There is a stream tomorrow, and it's Tainted Grail. We're finally getting back to Tainted Grail. That will be YouTube only, so do make sure you're subscribed over there. so you don't miss out, as it'll be our exclusive. That most of that series has been exclusive to the YouTube side. Having a lot of fun with Tainted Grail. We're on to finding the shield. We've been having some really great quests in that second zone. Looking forward to chilling with everybody and enjoying that. Yeah, there's going to be some different cosplays for the Silent Hill F New Game Plus as well. Some of them are going to be spooky. Some of them might just be like this again. Some of them are going to be a bit spooky. We're going to try and shift it up a little bit. But I won't tell you when it's going to be a spooky day or not. I want it to be a surprise. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it too. I'm itching to play more. Yeah. 10 out of 10 for me so far, this. Yeah, this thing, honestly, this and Chronos, I've thoroughly enjoyed both. Such just great horror games. So much fun. All right, everyone, I will see you tomorrow at around 6 p.m. ET for some Tainted Grail RPG world exploration fun. Likely doing main quest stuff tomorrow. Because we did a lot of Sync quest stuff last time. So I'll see you tomorrow for another wonderful stream. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody, and I will see you later. Don't let whatever the heck those are bite. Good night.